Hello and welcome to the 42nd episode of Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
And I've run out of bits for this joke. My name's Pat.
Well, it's season 3. You could have said it's season 3, Pat.
No.
Well, it's season 3, guys. Welcome to season 3 of Fresh Off the Reel. We're finally back from our holiday break. We hope you all had a great holiday. Happy 2023. And with 2023 comes new movies. And with 2023 comes new episodes of Fresh Off the Reel. And with new episodes of Fresh Off the Reel, we got new guests. We got a couple guests lined up for you all this year. Starting with the first guest we ever had on Fresh Off the Reel, Stefano, aka ToonMan from ToonMan Live on YouTube. Say hi, dude.
Hey, you guys.
Good reference.
How's it going?
Something that happened like 5 minutes ago.
That was a reference to Electric Company. That was a reference to Electric Company, man. That was good.
How's it going, everybody? It's been a hot minute. I've been very quiet.
Yeah, well, it's work, other things, life. You know how it is. That's why we took a break.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of months, but we're back and we're recording, hopefully on schedule this time.
Yeah, season 3, baby. Season 3. Let's do this. All
You
right.
know what they say? Sequels are always better.
Don't give the industry any ideas.
Anyways, today we are going to be kicking off this year with our 2022 year in review, our yearly year in review, because we're going to say a little bye-bye to 2022, and we're going to be talking about all the movies that we watched that we didn't really talk about on the podcast. We're going to stay away from the movies that we've already spoken about. We're mostly just going to be talking about some of the stuff we didn't mention or just straight up ignored. We're gonna be talking a little bit about some of the new stuff that came out this year, some stuff that was pretty good that maybe we haven't seen, like Avatar. That happened. But yeah, let's get this show on the road. Let me just pull up this. All right,
Yep, I have my diary open. I guess I'll start it off. So on January 1st, I watched Ocean's 12. This was a podcast movie. So we're
Are
skipping
you saying
over
January? Hold
Why-
on, January
why did
1st,
you-
2023, or January 1st, 2022?
2022. It's the 2022 year in review. We're gonna
Okay.
talk. Yeah, come on, man.
Yep. I'm only pointing this out because the next movie was also a podcast movie, but we're talking about that later. It's Borat 1. This will come up again.
Keep a pin in that.
we'll use later.
a lot
And,
of these movies are gonna be. Let's just completely skip the ones we did episodes on.
Well, I only mention it because it's the first movie I watched last year, and I think that's important to mention. It's the first. You always remember your first.
You always remember your
Always
first.
remember your first,
Well,
ladies and
well
gentlemen.
Steph, what was the first movie you watched in 2022?
The first movie that I watched in 2022, aside from the one you suggested to me,
Yeah.
was Howl's Moving Castle.
Ooh, that's a good one.
A very, very wonderful, beautiful looking film. Literally one of my favorite like anime style sort of films ever. Studio Ghibli, 10 out of 10, amazing. Especially way back in its heyday. Has huge influences on me to this day.
I haven't seen it. I should.
Yeah, I love Howl's Moving Castle. Grew up with it. Great movie. If you haven't seen it for whatever reason, or just haven't seen a Ghibli movie, you totally should. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they're full of that like whimsical, like magic that died on us as we became bitter adults. So I rated it a 5 out of 5.
I rated it
Rare perfect film for me.
I rated a 4.5.
I don't have a rating for it. I've never seen it.
You should.
I should. I have to. I need to
This
watch.
isn't a suggestion. I'm currently right behind you with a gun. You're gonna watch it.
No. No. I need to watch more Ghibli movies. I've only seen 2 of them, and one of them I watched. Well, both of them I watched most kind of because I was forced to, quote unquote. I mean, Pat did recommend me Spirited Away, which I did watch in February of 2022. So good segue there. But the other one that I saw was My Neighbor Totoro, and I watched that when I was in high school. Our teacher showed us that movie, and it wasn't for like a study thing. She just showed it to us. Like on a random day, she was like, "We have no work today. Let's just watch a movie." And she put My Neighbor Totoro. Good movie. I liked it.
Before we move on from House Moving Castle, I just want to say that one of the recent reviews on Letterboxd is just this movie was sick because the castle actually moves, dead ass, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, no shit.
Yeah, guys, if you can't tell, this episode is going to be very shoot the shit kind of. This is a very laid back. We wanted to start calm for the first episode. But yeah, so let's my first movie of 2022 was Murder on the Orient Express. I watched it on the 4th. I think it was for the podcast. It was, I can't remember which episode, but it was for the podcast. And then right after it, on the same day, I watched The Big Lebowski.
Both very classic films in the film industry, very classic stories.
Yeah, I love Murder on the Orient Express. It's a good movie. I know a lot of people have problems with it because of the ending, which I won't spoil for people who haven't seen it. But yeah, and it's also not like the best Agatha Christie adaptation ever. But I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. I've only seen that and Death on the Nile, which we'll talk about soon. But
Since when is any movie adaptation from a book ever solid?
yeah, really, right? Like,
It's
wait, hold on.
like they try their best. Like some of them do, like, no, they do their darn best, and like they get so close. And then there's other ones that are like, let's just see the source material. We're just gonna toss it there.
A lot of them are really good. Like Casino Royale is a very good book adaptation,
Yeah, there's some of them that hit the mark, some of them don't.
which I watched on January 15th.
Yeah, it's not nice segue.
There's something we forgot to mention earlier. I'm just gonna throw it in now, like a wrench, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we watched a lot of movies together. We watched a lot of the same movies, but maybe not necessarily at the same time. So, like, for example, one of my upcoming movies is a movie I know all three of us saw just at different times.
Yeah.
In scenarios like that, we're just gonna kind of jump in and talk about it then, instead of like, oh, spoilers. I watched Eternals on January 13th. I know these guys also watched Eternals, so they're just gonna talk about Eternals then. They're not gonna bring it up again later. We'll get that out of the way.
Yeah,
as it
right.
comes
Wait.
up.
Talk about Eternal.
You don't want to talk about Eternal?
I don't want to talk
But
about Eternal.
it doesn't matter because that's not my next movie. But it just I use it
I
as
know,
an
I'm
example because
I'm just playing it for the bit.
I also don't want to talk about Eternals if it makes you feel better. There's a reason why it was a scrapped episode. We're gonna talk
I
about
really
Eternals.
don't
It
want to talk
was.
about Eternal.
Wait, can we throw this in? Can we talk about scrapped episodes? Let's do that.
Yeah, we can.
You can do that.
We can bring it up as the movies come up. Sure.
Yeah,
There's a lot. There's more than you'd think.
Yeah, there's
Actually,
a lot.
there's one that's like right at the beginning of the month that we all watched together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know what? Let's keep this train going. Let's keep it going.
You want to do that one right now?
Oh wait, no. So my next movie, it's a twofer because I watch these movies back to back.
That was just like, no, I don't want to.
All right,
Yeah,
moving
no,
on.
No. I watched the live action Netflix Bleach movie, and then to clean my palate because it was so bad, I watched one of the animated Bleach movies, which was also bad, worse than I remember it being. So
Great palate cleanser, dude.
yeah, I watched Bleach live action, and I watched Bleach Fade to Black. They're both fine. If you're a fan of Bleach, they're fine. Go watch them, I guess. We have a new anime now, though, so just go watch the anime instead. It's better. That's all I want to say on those two movies.
The first movie that I watched in the year that we didn't talk about on the podcast is Hotel Transylvania Transformania, which I had as part of a 4-movie marathon on the 15th of January. I watched that, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Venom. I don't know where the relation of all those movies come in, but I remember
Venom together.
we did
We
watch
watched
Venom
Venom.
together.
We watched Venom 2 together. I don't know if he watched
Okay.
Venom by himself.
I know I watched Venom 1 with Pat. I don't know if you were there too, Steph.
I don't remember watching Venom with
I don't
people.
know.
I see it on my diary now because it's on another page. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's there.
Yeah, so Hotel Transylvania Transformania was my first half a star in a long time.
It's also the first Hotel Transylvania movie that Adam Sandler was not a part of.
Yeah, that's true. They got an Adam Sandler impersonator for this movie because they
Apparently, it's
couldn't
not
get
very
him.
hard to do Dracula.
Yeah, no, it's just you go blah blah blah. It's Dracula. It's really easy. But
I
yeah,
don't say blah blah blah. It kills them every time.
it's easy to fuck up a movie apparently because this movie is terrible. I remember I watched it while I was on break at work because it's only 87 minutes long.
Yeah, they really rushed that one.
It
Like
sucked.
the sequels to Hotel Transylvania weren't good to begin with. Like they were okay at best. Like
Yeah.
I think there's how many sequels are there? There's like 4?
This is Transylvania is the fourth one.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, in terms of sequels. Also, I wouldn't be counting the first film, so 3.
Yeah, there's 3 sequels.
Yeah, like the second one, third one, and fourth one. Like I decided to watch them in order because Transformania was coming out, and I don't know what they were gonna talk about, but here we are. They're not like they're okay. Even Transformania is the worst one by far, but
Yeah.
you could see them. You could see the gradual decline of just in terms of writing, story. The animation is fine. If anything, the animation has improved, arguably. But in terms of like once again story and just actual context, it's not very enjoyable. It's very cookie cutter, I would say.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That one's on my watch list. I have not seen it yet.
Don't take
But
it off.
I really no, I still plan to see it. But I really like the first movie, and I'm still gonna sit through this one. But I've heard nothing but bad things about it. So
Yeah, like you're not missing anything. It's like it's your if you've seen one Hotel Transylvania movie, you watch them all.
Essentially, keeping up the joke that Pat started. One of the top comments on Letterboxd for this movie is, "Why don't you transform these nuts?"
that's good. That's good. Good joke. Good
Well done. One of the movies that I actually watched together, if I may continue,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be. Oh no, sorry. That it was. I think it was an episode that you guys did. I don't remember, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Was the Matrix Resurrections?
That was an episode.
The reason why I bring this movie up is because this is my, I think, second movie ever I've legitimately wrote a review on Letterboxd. For the context of people at home, I don't use Letterboxd as often as these two, even though
You
they
should.
hound me to use Letterboxd every time I watch a movie. Because I just completely forget to write it. So this is my third ever use of Letterboxd ever. And my review for this is, and for those of you who have either seen the review or have seen The Matrix Resurrection, my favorite part, personally, I give it a nice 3 stars. My favorite part, personally, is the 15 frames per second Neil Patrick Harris. That is my favorite part. That is my favorite Neil Patrick Harris character. Fight me.
That was not a mistake that they made in editing. They fucking made him 15 frames per second. I for the life of me can't find out why. I was about to say this is probably our most negative review that we've ever done on Fresh Off the Reel.
Yeah, which is weird because I think we're all in agreement that the movie's like fine, like it's not bad.
I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's fine, it's okay.
Yeah. 3 stars.
But for whatever reason, we were really negative in that review.
I guess I was just tired. I was just like I remember that the day we recorded that I was very tired. I don't think I slept the night before. But
yeah, and then maybe you being tired just like rubbed off on me, and I was being like extra negative that day.
And we were just like, fuck this movie, man.
Yeah,
just
who knows?
A sheer fucking Matrix.
Yeah, who knows? But if you want to hear our thoughts, the episode is on the channel on the Spotify. But it's there.
It's
okay,
there.
so this is one that you guys have done. I, for some reason, was under the impression that we haven't.
Yeah, we did. We did an episode on the Matrix.
Sorry, you haven't.
Yeah.
But moving on, I ended up watching Bangers like right after that. And which entailed I'll give like 3 back to back just so we could get
we got to speed this up. We're still on January.
Yeah. So to finish up my January watch for at least my Letterboxd was The House on Netflix,
Ooh.
Fantasia 2000, and Tick Tick Boom.
Oh, Tick
Good
Tick
movies.
Boom.
The House is 4 stars. Fantasia 2000 is also 4 stars. Tick Tick Boom is 4.5. The House, the closest thing I've ever gotten before I ever saw Mad God, which I will get to. I really want to talk about Mad God with permission.
You could talk about Mad God.
Eventually.
You can talk about anything, man.
The House was the closest thing I've ever gotten to a fully blown stop motion horror film. Fantasia 2000, a wonderful example at its time for a mixture between music and animation and how it conveys storytelling with just those two elements. And Tick Tick Boom for obvious reasons. I mean, come on, Andrew Garfield, look at a baby face. He's beautiful. I love
Andrew
him.
Garfield. We did do an episode on Tick Tick Boom, episode 10. Check it out, guys. We both, me and Pat, we both loved Tick Tick Boom. I know you watched it after we did.
Yes.
Because I kind of yelled at you for not watching it.
You almost got an Oscar for Tick Tick Boom. Almost. That was also the year. Can I also mention that was the year for Andrew Garfield?
Yeah,
He's been
really.
he's been in a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, but that's No Way Home. That's actually pretty much it.
He did no. There was like what's the woman with the puppets?
The woman with the puppets. It sounded
The
like you were
the eyes of
fapping.
Tammy Faye.
Oh, the eyes of Tammy Faye. It sounded like you were jerking off there.
I was hitting my knee.
Live on Fresh Off the Reel.
Season 3, baby. It's gonna be crazy.
It's the sex season.
we have people jacking it on set.
Bigger, better, and more banging than ever.
Sex off the reel.
Your OnlyFans account.
All right. Let's see what the rest of the stuff I watched in January that we never covered on the podcast. I did watch this movie called A Few Good Men. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the movie with the "You Can't Handle the Truth" is from that movie.
That's what the movie is called. I keep forgetting what the fuck the title of that movie is called.
It's called A Few Good Men. It's about God, it was so long ago. It's about like this guy in the army, I think, and he's on trial. Tom Cruise is the lawyer, and no, he's not. Tom Cruise is a lieutenant. I can't remember who the lawyer is, but like it's basically a movie about one huge court case, and it's really really good. I caught it on TV. A lot of these movies that you're gonna hear me talk about is because I either went to my grandparents' house or I was eating and I wanted something to watch, so I just turned on the TV and something was on, and I ended up catching the whole movie. A Few Good Men was one of them, and a movie I watched right after that was the 1989 Batman movie, which I was watching with my grandmother because she loves the old Batman movies. Kind of crazy.
I love Batman '89, so.
Nonna loves Batman.
Nonna loves
Never-
Batman.
Nonna loves
Who
Batman.
wouldn't?
Yeah,
You think Nonna would see Robert Pattinson?
I
You know
think
what? I
Nonna
don't
would enjoy Robert Pattinson.
I think she would. Yeah, honestly, I think she would. I should make her watch it. But yeah, the '89 Batman movie was great. Like it has such a good soundtrack. That was like the top thing for me watching the movie was the soundtrack. That was Danny Elfman. That was great soundtrack. I believe when I think of the Batman theme, I kind of think of this one, but it's not because of this movie. It's because of the Lego game.
That's right.
Because the Lego game used the Danny Elfman soundtrack for the whole game.
Danny Elfman is a great composer, just period. He has a huge repertoire to him.
Yeah, he's a very good composer. Another thing we watched, I know we all watched this together, was Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yep.
We watched that in
this.
person, wasn't it?
We watched that in person at my house.
Yeah.
We had a little watch party with the rest of the squad. We all got together. I think you were the only one there who had never seen it, right, Lim? Or did Matt also not see it then?
I can't remember, but I know I had never seen it. I think she already saw it.
I know there was like one other person that had not seen it, but I can't remember who that was right now.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we watched Scott Pilgrim. I love this movie. Not my favorite Edgar Wright movie, but I love it to death.
I think we were on the topic of Edgar Wright. Like the reason why we went ahead and watched Scott Pilgrim because I think just was during the time where Last Night in Soho was being advertised.
Yeah, and
That
I think
sounds.
I had just watched because we watched Shaun of the Dead for the podcast, and we were like we're gonna watch every Edgar Wright movie, and I think that's why we watched this.
Yeah, spoilers for the podcast. Eventually, we'll be covering Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and yeah, you'll hear more of our thoughts on that movie when we get to it.
Yeah, and that's when the internet's gonna start hating me because I don't like this movie. I don't know. I think it was very the jokes felt like they were trying to be jokes. I don't know if that makes any sense.
The jokes were made for like its time.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
think it's a
yeah, but
very
its
dated
time was
movie.
2010. It wasn't that long ago.
It's 10 years ago.
That's more
Say
than 10
that.
years ago.
I would say that.
But right now it's more than 10 years ago. But like...
This movie's not. Oh my god, this movie's 13 years old. Okay, moving on.
What else did you watch in January, Pat?
I have a lot of movies in January. I'm gonna spitball them.
Yes,
Spitball
just
them.
spitball them, dude.
But one of them I'm not gonna spitball. I think we should talk about at great length for over an hour. Is we all watched Eternals at some point. Let's talk about Eternals.
It sucked.
Yeah, I have
Sucked.
nothing to say about Eternals.
Hate it.
This was the first new IP, I believe, in the MCU. Like the first
Yes?
like new introduction to a character
No.
since like Ant-Man.
I think Shang-Chi came out before Eternals.
No. Did
yes,
it?
yes, it did. Shang-Chi came out before Eternals.
Okay, well, Shang-Chi's better. So
It was
Yeah,
the first bad new IP.
yeah.
Sorry, it was the
Well,
first terrible IP that they created.
I
Who
think
gave
this
a
is-
shit about the Eternals? Who thought like, we need to see the Eternals? Nobody knew who the Eternals was, and everybody was happy for it.
I'm gonna be real. I read comic books and I've seen the movie, and I still don't know what the Eternals are.
Also, Pat, Captain Marvel exists, just letting you know. And Black Panther. Those all happened after Ant-Man. And Spider-Man Homecoming and Doctor Strange.
Well, okay. But yeah, so Eternals is a movie that exists. I think this is this the first movie. No, Black Widow is the first movie of Phase 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
was
second
it-
movie of Phase
was
4,
it-
and it was not a good second entry. This movie is very boring. I don't necessarily think it blends well with the rest of the phase. It kind of stands out. Sorry, as like the odd man out in the MCU, especially in Phase 4, which was very
Bad.
very different than the other ones.
Way to be nice.
Guys, let's face it, guys. Let's face it, guys. Okay.
Let's phase it.
4, let's phase it, guys. Phase 4 was the worst phase. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Phase 4 is the worst phase of the MCU. It has some of the lowest lows of Marvel that I've seen. It's
Let's just hope
terrible.
Phase 5 gets better.
I hope. But
Question mark.
Ant-Man looks really good. So
I'm
see.
very impressed with Ant-Man so far.
It's
But
Star
we've
Wars.
always done this. We've always done this where we would see the trailer for the next MCU project and like, oh, that's really good, and then we see the film and it's like, ah.
It's like
That's why.
you
That's
know.
why I'm not watching the trailers because I didn't see the trailer for Ant-Man. I've heard it looks great. I'm not watching it. I just want to go into these movies with no expectations, because I'm
Well,
tired.
Pat, I think there's a nice quote from the MCU that you'll like, and it's a perfect segue.
No.
Expect disappointment, and you'll never be disappointed.
Woo!
And that sums up the MCU perfectly.
And what's the segue?
So, well,
Um,
No Way Home is later, but
No
we'll
Way
get
Home's
there when
later.
we get there. We'll get there when we get there. But
Yeah, moving on to
yeah,
February.
Yeah, no way. I'm not done January. I got-
Oh
I got
yeah.
a
Oh
couple
yeah.
more.
You have your other stuff.
So,
Shut up, Lip. He's not done.
As Liv said earlier, we watched Venom together, the first one. Not a podcast episode. We watched this for shits and giggles. This movie's awful, and I love it. This movie is so funny, unintentionally funny. I love it so
Yeah.
much. And then I watch, aside from podcast stuff, I watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. You might notice a trend. These are for all of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. We watched this in preparation for No Time to Die.
Oh, I did the same thing in January. I wasn't sure if we were gonna mention that. But yeah, we did do an episode of No Time to Die. If you're interested in hearing our thoughts, in that episode we also talk about just the Craig Bond movies in general. So
Yeah.
go check out.
That's
that
why.
episode.
That's why we did this, because No Time to Die was already out, but we did the episode then.
You guys were doing a binge at some point.
We are huge, huge, huge James Bond fans.
Yep, and I like these movies for the most part, except you, Spectre.
Yeah,
But more-
and you die another
Quantum
day.
of Solace.
Die another day. Get the fuck out of here, Madonna. You can leave.
But that's my last non-podcast movie. I watched 12 Angry Men, but that was podcast, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's it for
That's-
January.
yeah,
What a good month.
yeah. Oh wait, there's two other movies I watched on January. Passage of Venus and the Musician Monkey. Those are the two earliest movies on Letterboxd. I just watched them
I've
because
never heard of Musician Monkey before.
You never heard of Musician Monkey?
I'm
Dude,
sorry.
dude, we're gonna watch it right now. We're gonna watch it right now, like on
All right,
live,
I guess,
live right
I guess
now.
the episode's over.
Live right now. We're watching it right now. Musician
Oh, he's actually sharing his screen.
Monkey.
sharing his screen.
Hold on.
Why?
Why are we on YouTube? Wait, you can't put this. That's
Oh, why is this on Letterboxd?
Because it's one of the first movies ever made. There you go. That's it. Musician Monkey.
oh
I mean-
my god.
well-
That's why.
That's a moving picture.
Yep. It was the
Holy
first.
shit.
It's the first animated movie ever made. That 1878. You just
Well,
watched
I guess
it,
I
dude.
watched that now.
Steph, you just watched history.
I
Log
gotta
it.
log it.
Log it. Log it.
What do you say about the first animated film ever?
That.
Oh,
Right?
The first animated film
Like
ever.
right. What can you really say about the first animated movie ever and leave it at that? Just say the most cliche thing ever. We just watched a movie. It was 9 seconds long.
And it's non-copyright. Who's gonna copyright strike that?
Am I gonna show it on the YouTube video? No!
No.
I don't know what'll happen if I do. But anyways, let's move on to February.
Alright.
We're already
While I log this, move on to February. One
Yeah.
of you.
So in February, basically everything I watched was for the podcast, so I'm just gonna not mention anything I watched in February. Besides, there was this documentary I watched called Schumacher, which is about Michael Schumacher, famous Formula One driver. Pretty good documentary. If you're a fan of Formula One, I would say give it a watch. It tells a really good, just biography of Michael Schumacher. If you're a fan, his whole family's in the movie too. So yeah, check it out. Speaking of Michael Schumacher, I was kind of on a Cars binge, and I watched Cars on February 7th. Yeah. And that's all I watched in February that's not non-podcast related. The rest are all podcast related.
I don't know how to segue that. You guys like cars?
Yeah.
You guys like movies?
No.
I watched a film that has two of those things in different scenes. In February, the only movie that I've ever logged in Letterboxd was La La Land. And
I mean, Lib and I also both watched that movie in February.
Wait, was it February 3rd?
it did. Wait, hold on. I need to see.
I don't think we watched this with him. I think it was us two
No, this was February
and
16th.
two of our other
Okay.
friends. It was not with. It was not
Okay,
with
yeah.
Steph.
Steph just coincidentally also watched it in February. Yeah, we all watched
more of
La
a
La Land
pleasant-
together on February 3rd. Oh, I thought that was
Ryan
for the podcast.
drives a car, and Emma Stone aspires to be a movie actress.
Crazy.
That's a segue.
That's a segue and a half.
The best movie I watched in February was definitely The Dark Knight. Like that was awesome. I watched it for the first time in February 26th. That was quite an experience. It was amazing. Really good.
I'm just very surprised that you've never seen it until you had to do it for the show.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm surprised too, honestly.
Real good.
Very good.
Mhm.
Very good.
And, speaking of real good superhero movies that we watched in February, I watched Spider-Man 2 because when I'm sad, I watch Spider-Man 2. I've logged
Aw.
Spider-Man 2 a lot.
Everybody's got their comfort movie.
I watched
But-
Spider-Man 2, and I've watched 4 other movies that we did not do for the podcast, but this was also a very podcast-filled month.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to jump in on these movies, you can. I watched Spider-Man 2. I watched Tall Girl.
Yeah.
I
Milk
don't
curtain.
think you
That's
two-
all I gotta say.
I know you two were there for Tall Girl, but we watched it on Discord in my server. We
Milk
watched Tall
Crate. That's
Girl,
all I gotta say.
Milk Crate, Giga Chad.
No, I
James
wasn't. I
Short
wasn't there
King.
for Tall Girl.
You were not there for Tall. I don't think Steph was either, but Steph's
I
brother
wasn't,
was.
but I watched it on my own time.
Yeah. I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yes, that was something that I
That's
also
true.
watched.
That existed.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh my god, it's awful.
It is really not good.
Yeah.
It is just surprisingly terrible.
I completely forgot that movie existed.
I did too until I opened my diary. Like I don't remember watching this. But
I don't remember either.
And then I watched The King's Man, the third movie in the Kingsman trilogy. I love the first movie. I think the first movie is great. The second movie is Dog Water. This one's okay.
Is this the newest one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It released in 2021. It's the newest one. I don't know if you guys have seen the Kingsman movies, but I really recommend the first one.
I know what they're about, but it's another movie that I need to see.
My last movie for February was Pink Floyd's The Wall. I love Pink Floyd. I'm a big Pink Floyd fan. I love The Wall as an album.
Fuck you, Doug Walker.
Yeah, fuck you, Doug Walker. That's why I watched that movie, because I watched his. I don't know why and what compelled me to watch his review of The Wall, but I did.
You
And then
sad,
I watched that
sad
movie
man.
after.
You
sad
bad sad man.
I said you sad man.
Oh, I heard you bad sad man.
What did you watch in February stuff?
It was the only thing that I remember watching in February was La La Land, as I mentioned before. But that's all I've watched.
That's all you watched.
Aside from that, and maybe the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was Dog Water. That's all I remember watching, at least in February. April is the movie I don't like. I skipped a nice few months and then went to April.
Well, by the way, guys, if it wasn't blatantly obvious, we are using Letterboxd for this whole episode to track our progress for watching movies. If you guys want to follow us on Letterboxd, you can check it out on our link tree. Our Letterboxd accounts are there. Let's move on to March. So in March, I think, yes. So in March, I started doing this thing where when I would edit this show that you are listening to right now, crazy how life works sometimes. When I would listen to the edit at the same time, and while I was editing all the like whatever, we're just editing this show, I would have a movie on in the background. So I watched Cars again. I'm sorry. In March. I also watched a short film called Interesting Ball. I want to talk about Interesting Ball because there are no balls in this movie. I'll tell you that. I'm going to give you... Okay, guys, so it was directed by the Daniels, the same people who made Swiss Army Man and my favorite movie ever made, Everything Ever All at Once. They made this short film about these guys trying to get this girl on a beach. He's trying to... All these guys are trying to get with her, and then they form a mecha human and attack the beach.
Huh.
I see.
Yeah.
I
You
guess
should watch it.
I guess Interesting Ball meant like oddballs.
I don't know. They're
I don't know.
interesting.
The Daniels are very weird.
They are very weird
collab,
people.
like-
They did, for fun fact, I know I said this in the Everything Ever All at Once episode, but I'll say it again. They directed the music video for Turn Fountain for What? Remember that?
A weird. That's such like a understanding the Daniels work in film. It's not a odd job for them to take.
Yeah. I also watched, I rewatched, I would say, Toy Story 2. Great movie, 5 stars. Love Toy Story 2. It's my favorite Toy Story movie by far, I would say. And here's an interesting one. I took, in college, I took a class called Philosophy of Sex. And it was very interesting, very, very interesting class. And one of the movies, well, actually the only movie that our teacher showed us is a documentary called Paris is Burning that I kind of want you guys to watch. So Paris is Burning is a documentary about drag queens in New York in the 90s. And it's very tragic. There's like some terrible shit in this documentary, but I think it's very, very interesting. And it was really cool that they made us. Well, I gave it 3.5 stars. Like it's probably my favorite movie that a teacher has made me watch like ever.
I had to watch that in a film class actually, and it was like a film history class.
You watched Paris is Burning?
Yes, I have.
Oh, dude.
Amongst like other films that I had to, Paris is Burning was one of them.
I should
And it
mention
was one
that
of
Paris is Burning is in the top, I think, 15 of Letterboxd's top 250 best documentaries.
it was one of the most interesting films that I watched. Although the bar has been set pretty low by the other films, but like Paris is Burning was a nice breath of fresh air, especially as for someone that's not huge on documentaries, but it is still like very educational, very like well shot, well narrated. It's a very phenomenal documentary. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Pat, do you know, have you heard about Paris is Burning?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's really good. It's a famous documentary. But that's all of my March. That's not I'm not like I ended up not naming any of the films that we watched for the show. I just named it whatever we didn't talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're already 40 minutes in.
I watched Nightmare Alley in March.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Nightmare
about that.
Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
This was nominated for Best Picture the year prior.
Why?
It was fine. Like I enjoyed it. I don't think it deserved that nomination, but it was fine.
Del
Also,
Toro, though.
fun fact. Weirdly enough, and I found this out today after a nice phone call. Nightmare Alley was shot here in Canada, in Toronto.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like wow, okay.
Yeah, but a lot of movies are filmed in Canada. I just never think about that because I think of Hollywood. Oh, everything's filmed in the United States.
No, but I thought like for this how the set looked, it had to be somewhere west of America. I was not thinking that it was here in Toronto. I never thought we had acres like that in Toronto.
Do you mean east, by the way?
Shut up. I know my west and east.
Steph, west of America is Russia.
You mean West of America?
I mean west. Listen, moving on.
Yeah. So in March, I watched Dragon Ball Super Broly. It was a rewatch for me, but we watched it and a good friend of ours, K1K10K.
Why is that not in my March?
She's gonna hate that I said it that way. In her server, it was her first time seeing it, and we watched it with members of her chat. I love this movie. It is one of my comfort movies. Love Dragon Ball. But moving on to an interesting conversation, because speaking of canceled podcast episodes, I watched Turning Red in March.
Oh,
Did you guys not do an episode on that?
No, we
did
never
not.
ended up doing.
We were going to.
Yeah, we were gonna do an episode of Turning Red. That was like one of our, like we're like for sure we're gonna do it for sure.
I like this movie. I think it's fine. I think it gets a little too much shit on the internet.
It's cute.
I don't
But
like
that's
it.
the most I could say about this about the film. Like it's a nice, cute coming of age story.
I think of the three of us, I like it the most, and the reason we didn't do it is because Lib didn't enjoy it, so we just didn't have
Yeah, I
much to
thought
say.
like I had almost nothing to say about the movie. If I was gonna say anything, it was gonna be the things I didn't like, and I didn't want a super negative episode, so we just didn't end up doing it.
Just gonna throw this out there because March was the month I watched all the Best Picture nominees before the Oscars. I don't know if you guys both saw them. I think Steph watched some of them. I don't remember if
I watched
them.
some.
I did not.
Yeah, so I watched Nightmare Alley, like I said previously. Don't Look Up, which I did not enjoy.
I did also watch Don't Look Up. It sucked hard. I don't know why I got nominated to begin with.
Yeah, I know why I got nominated. I just don't agree with the nomination. It's an Oscar bait movie, and it really shows. I watched Drive My Car, which I loved.
Still need to watch.
I watched King Richard, which was good.
Yes, I watched King Richard after the Oscars, and it's really cool. It's a really nice film. I felt it's weird for me to say. I felt comfortable. Like it's a very comfortable film.
It's a good movie. It's a shame it's made overshadowed by the events at the Oscars that we're not going to talk about.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so
I found a second page.
Hold on.
He found a second page.
No, it's not that. Well, I did find a second page, but hold on. at the time of recording, the Golden Globes were last night, and Eddie Murphy was on stage. And I don't remember what he was on stage for, but he won an award. I don't remember. I don't know what it's for. I didn't watch, like, I didn't pay attention to the Golden Globes. I just had it on, but during his acceptance speech at the very end, he said, thank you everybody so much, and remember the one rule: keep Will Smith's wife's name out your fucking mouths.
That joke is dated.
That's
fine.
a very dated joke.
He said that last night. He said that, and this was last night at the Golden
Eddie
Globes.
Murphy.
Oh, Eddie Murphy, you made a Coming to America sequel.
Coda, which won Best Picture, right?
Yep.
Coda was good. Belfast, which was all right,
Mm.
and The Power of the Dog, which was good. Was all right.
Yeah, it was good at best, okay at worst.
See, I watched Coda and Power of the Dog and Dune. Those are the only three movies I actually watched before the Oscars. I did not like Power of the Dog.
Yeah, all three of which I believe we talked about on the podcast, so we're not gonna.
The
waste much
Oscars.
time.
The same year that Amy Schumer came down from the ceiling like a god in a Spider-Man costume.
I wish
Spraying silly string.
I wish my face was on recording.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Yeah,
I've never in my life seen Pat devoided of all hope.
Yeah, he was.
At that moment.
I believe we mentioned this on the episode, but we watched Oscars together at my place, and I said out loud, we haven't seen Amy Schumer in a while.
Yeah.
I wonder what she's up to. And then, like fucking clockwork, she comes down in a Spider-Man costume.
It's just like, okay, yeah.
I love it when
Okay.
instant karma works wonderfully.
I did discover a second page of my diary. There are 3 more movies I watched in March.
Go
Let me
ahead.
just shoot through my, because I have a couple movies left.
Oh yeah.
I watched Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. This was my first introduction to the franchise. I watched the anime after that. The movie's good. The show's good. If you like shonen anime, you should go watch it. I watched... Was Ford vs. Ferrari a podcast movie?
Yep.
Never mind. I watched Licorice Pizza, which I really, really enjoyed.
I needed to watch
And
that again.
this was a podcast episode, but I'm mentioning it anyway because it's funny. We watched The Room.
Yeah, and not only did we watch The Room, we watched it drunk.
Yeah. And
You
You
that's all
guys
my
watched
March
it
movies.
drunk. I had the displeasure of not doing that.
Yeah, we watched it drunk, and then we recorded it drunker. It was an interesting episode. Go check it out. The Room drunk.
May we talk about Licorice Pizza for a few seconds?
Don't spoil it.
Because I find this film very interesting. I think the two characters are very shitty people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Look, okay. I know I just said don't spoil it because I haven't seen the movie, but I got that from the trailers, man.
But that's like just to avoid spoilers without me like because I can't elaborate, right?
Yeah,
They're
but
like-
they're
yeah,
shit,
I don't know.
like,
kind of.
isn't it a movie about shitty people?
Kinda.
Kinda. That I don't know. That's the thing. Like it looks like it may be, but then there's other times where like, oh, maybe they'll finally learn their lesson.
I don't know. They're movie characters. They never learn their lesson.
There's no moral of the story lib to you.
Never. The other 3 movies I watched in March are just the throwaways. I watched Monsters Inc. and WALL-E while I was editing for this show, but I also watched a documentary called The Last Blockbuster, which is about the last blockbuster. We should
Whoa.
totally take a road trip there, guys.
Godspeed, the last blockbuster. Godspeed.
Rest in peace, Blockbuster. You didn't make it to Canada, but we hardly knew ye.
You had your sister company, you had Videotron.
Yeah, you had Videotron. Rest in peace,
He's also
Videotron.
dead.
We hardly knew ye. You said you didn't have anything logged for March, right, Steph?
No, I skipped March.
All right. Well, let's move on to April. You said you have April, right?
I do have one April.
Well, my April. Oh, I know what it is. Oh no, I know what it is.
If there's one movie we definitely watched together in April.
Yeah.
So okay, in April, my April is completely full. Like I had a lot of stuff for April, because not only did watch a bunch of movies while editing this show, but also just it was just a good month for movies, man. And by good, I mean Sharknado and Birdemic.
Not true. Got one really interesting movie. Is it? Don't you have like Pat's favorite movie on there?
Yeah, well, I have my favorite movie on there. My favorite movie I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Yeah, but nobody cares about your favorite movie.
On
That's okay.
on April 12th.
We don't care about your favorite. We only care about the fact that we watch Sonic, Nick.
On April
Oh, I wasn't
12th,
referring to that.
we watched
know you
Everything
were.
Everywhere All at Once, and it changed my life.
Fantastic fucking movie.
What a
Lib
film.
and I have talked about it at length, and I'm very happy we decided to see this on a whim.
God, it's such a good movie. It won best feature last night at the Game Awards at the
The
Golden
Game
Globes.
Awards.
Not a video game podcast. Hey, first one of the season, nice. At the Golden Globes, won Best Picture. Also, what's the name of the actor? I can't pronounce it. Ke Huy Quan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He won Best Supporting Actor last night at the Golden Globes, and his acceptance speech is amazing. It's very very moving.
I teared up.
Yeah, it was I saw it live. It was great. Like you guys should like just look up that acceptance speech, and you should watch other movies that he's in, because like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was really good, and The Goonies is the classic movie. I love The Goonies.
I wasn't even aware that he was in the Goonies. It came as a huge shock of like just his repertoire. It's amazing.
It's
He's stacked.
It's really just those three movies, which is
He has
crazy
really
to
good
me.
movies under his belt. It's just he hasn't acted in a very very long time.
like it was Temple of Doom and The Goonies, and it was just that for forever, and then all of a sudden, plop, he's in Everything Ever All at Once, and it's amazing.
He makes his comeback.
He makes his grand return. Like
Very
wow.
phenomenal film. Like if this film does not get at least one Oscar nomination, and just like I don't care if it's the costume department, I don't care if it's the video editing department, it has to get nominated for one thing. If it's not, the Oscars doesn't have a hair on their ass.
Yeah, seriously, they need this needs to win Best Picture in my eyes. There's no
Oh,
other
so that's a
movies.
Danny DeVito quote on Twitter.
in my eyes, there's no other movie that even comes close.
It's so good. It's so if for some reason you guys listening to this haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, drop what you're doing. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon Prime Video. Go watch it.
It's on DVD.
Yeah, buy it on DVD. Go if
For
it's
the Daniels.
like, just do whatever, man. Whatever you can to watch it, man. It'll change your life.
And we're not joking. This is not hyperbole. We're genuinely speaking. This is a wonderful, wonderful film to just watch and just endure.
This movie sure does give you everything everywhere all at once. That's a quote from that's from Steph's review.
That's
a
my
quote
review.
from Steph's review. Other movies I watched in April include Coda, which was great. I watched The Power of the Dog, which we already talked about. I didn't really like. Flushed Away, Ratatouille. Toy Story 1, Kung Fu Panda 2, just Toy Story 3, what else? The Emperor's New Groove, those are all movies I watched while editing. We started this thing in April called Shitty Movie Week, Shitty Movie Day, which happened every week, which we haven't continued. We should bring that back up. But
Oh, yeah, this was the beginning.
yeah, the movie we used to kick it off is I'm pretty sure the one movie that Steph has in April, which is Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
I did not give it any stars. I did not give it a heart. What was my review for it? Let's take a look.
It's a video. It's a YouTube video.
It's a YouTube clip.
What is it? I can't click on it. I'm recording. What is it?
It's just a bird with holding two Glocks.
I know Pat's is. I think it's a clip for in Iron Man 2 when the guy goes, "I want
I want my
board.
board.
I want my
I
board."
want my board.
Yeah,
And mine is my clip is I'm pretty sure I can't click on it to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's the clip of JonTron saying, "I guess you can say it's about birds." I also watched Sharknado.
Yep, that was also part of
Shitty
poop
movies.
Yep.
poop scoop night.
Poop Scoop Night. That's what we're calling it now. We're calling it Poop Scoop Night.
Where the hell did you pull that one out of? Poop scoop.
Don't worry about it.
I'm renaming the list right now to Poop Scoop Night.
Yeah.
And while I do that, Pat, talk about your April movies.
I watched a couple films. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2 twice.
Oh yeah, me
this
too.
was a podcast episode.
I should.
but I
we should
wanna-
mention- We
Go
watched
ahead,
it together.
We watched it together.
Yes.
I
what
bring
a
it up
film to
because I
watch.
watched it twice. I love this movie.
This was the closest thing you would ever get to see of a film adaptation being closely related to the games.
It
It's-
is one of the better video game movies, and I'm excited to see the next one.
Which is also it's its profit, but also its downfall at the same time.
But we'll see where that goes. If you want to hear more, we did a podcast episode.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched The In Between. I have this weird thing with watching Joey King movies.
That's true.
I don't think I've liked a single one of them.
In our really old episode, in our what we watched in, I can't remember which one, but we talked about the kissing booth. And we were just
Yep.
like, Pat, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't
Pat,
know what's Pat's infatuation with just very shitty Netflix movies, but he had a
Whenever
binge
one
at
comes out,
point.
he just watches it.
Yeah, I
watches it.
love shitty Netflix rom-coms. I cannot get enough of them. So I watched The In Between starring Joey King. It sucks.
Mm,
I watched The Breakfast Club. I don't remember if this was for the podcast or not.
it was not.
Well, I watched The Breakfast Club. I love this movie. Moving on.
I feel like if you were to say anything else about it, you would get so much hate.
It's a fantastic movie. Anyway,
No, it's not. Anyway.
and then something. Okay, so I don't know why I logged this. I shouldn't have logged this because it was a 10-minute Disney Plus special. It's called The Simpsons When Billy Met Lisa.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Oh,
I watched that
right.
too. I watched that
Was
too.
it a Christmas special or just
No,
a regular?
No,
just-
it's
No,
it's
a bummer.
Billie Eilish meets Lisa.
Yeah,
What was it for?
they have a song,
Yeah.
instrumental, and that's it.
Okay.
The top comment on Letterboxd for When Billy Met Lisa is "Soon I will die."
It's true.
All
That's
right.
a fact.
Well, okay, great special, I suppose.
Then I watched the Uncharted movie. Again, I don't remember if this is for the podcast.
It
I
was
don't think
not.
It was. Not good. Like it is perfectly average.
Tom, what the fuck?
Okay,
I
I
watched-
want to rant about the Uncharted movie.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go
you
right
you have
ahead.
every right out of all
All
of
right,
us.
I'm gonna set myself a 2-minute timer because if I don't, I'm gonna keep going. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. All right, 2-minute timer setting on my phone right now. Okay, so Uncharted is like one of my favorite video game franchises ever. Not a video game podcast, but moving on. They fucking butchered this. Okay, like this movie is terrible, and it's not like, oh, it's boring. It's not as good as the games, or it's not adapting the games well enough. No, they just straight up don't understand what makes Uncharted so good. They fucking had Tom Holland, this child, like acting as if he's 40 years old and pretending like he knows about pop culture and shit. That's not what Uncharted is about. And they got the like Mark Wahlberg, the least Sully person I could think of. Why couldn't you just get Nolan North? He is an actual actor, and they use him. He's a cameo in the movie. It's like casting fucking Mario as Chris Pratt. Oh Oh, that happened. You want to know why it happened? Because they think that having someone's face on a poster is going to sell tickets. And yeah, I guess it's in some way it does. But hey, people who know Uncharted are going to look at Tom Holland and be like, hashtag not my Drake, because that's what I did. That's not my Drake. My Drake is Nolan North. Nolan North, boycott. We got to get fucking Sony to remake this movie, put Nolan North in it instead of that stupid fucking cameo where he's just like, oh, I've been through that on the fucking beach. That's not fucking Uncharted, okay? Uncharted is about two treasure hunters living their lives and being in danger. It's not about two fuckers looking for a stupid treasure that one person told them about and being like, oh, hey, remember this joke? Oh, the 90s were cool, right? That's not Uncharted. End of rant.
Anyway, I watched Uncharted and it was fine. Not great. I watched Joker. I don't remember why I watched Joker again, but I watched Joker again.
I was gonna say, did not come out in 2018.
Yeah, it's 2019. And my last movie for April. I believe we watched this in my server. I watched The Emperor's New Groove.
What a great film.
I like that
That's
movie. It is good.
That's a film that I'm sort of interested in to see what a live action remake would be.
Give it time, they'll do it.
I forgot to mention that I watched Legally Blonde. That's
All right, I guess
it.
that's enough out of Legally Blonde, I suppose.
I
That's
watched
it.
a lot of shit in May.
Yeah, I watched a lot of shit. We gotta we gotta spitball this.
Okay, spitballing May. I only have one because we already talked about everything everywhere all at once because I watched that after you guys did the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to point out one that I think we've all watched, The Bad Guys.
Yeah, we all watched The Bad Guys together. Very good. Looks like DreamWorks is gonna stick with this animation style because they used it. They used the same animation style in the new Puss in Boots movie, which I haven't seen yet, but these two guys have seen it, and apparently it's really, really, really good.
It shows that DreamWorks is evolving and willing to try new things, new ways of animating. I think like at some point, like if they continue using the same frame rates that they've used with The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots, it'll be great for a good period of time, but I feel like at some point it'll be like, okay, change it up a bit. So if they keep doing this, because like DreamWorks is also very well known to like changing things up. Although sometimes they're not very successful at it, but they do end up changing things up. So I feel like this like will be like a nice great step forward in their process of, all right, time to try a rhythm. Let's continue this rhythm and try to add on to that. It's a nice base. I really like this, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna do for the next DreamWorks movies.
They're gonna do a Boss Baby movie in this animation style.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's gonna be amazing. And we're all gonna watch it. And
We're gonna see 15 frames per second Alec Baldwin as a child.
Yeah, I think The Bad Guys is really good. I was pleasantly surprised. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, please do. This was a scrapped podcast episode.
Yep, it was.
I think we just didn't do it because by the time we would have had time to record it, we just like it was too late. So we moved on, right? But I think this movie is great. Go see it.
Yeah,
it's one of Lib's favorite types of movies. It's a kind of heist movie.
Yeah, I love heist movies. Heist movies are like one of my favorites.
Does that mean you kind of like this one because it's kind of a heist movie?
I mean, I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah,
it is a heist movie.
Nice 4 stars. Gave it a nice heart. A little rewatch because I watched it like 3 times.
I would have given it 5 stars if it didn't have a twist villain.
I didn't like the villain. Villain sucked.
Yeah, the villain's kind of obvious too.
The thing is, like, the villain was supposed to be a little bit more threatening. I saw concept art on like what the original design for the villain was supposed to be, and it was a lot more menacing than. Okay, spoiler if you guys haven't seen The Bad Guys. Those of you at home, stop the episode now and go watch it. 3, 2, 1. The little stupid gerbil is tiny. He just ruffles his hair a little bit and turns around.
And he's like, I'm evil now. I'm going to kill you. That's not how he talks.
It's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 style. He angles his hair, and now he's
I was about to say, it's the Tobey Maguire becoming evil.
It was never supposed to be that. He was supposed to be bigger. He was supposed to be a lot more scruffy, a lot more menacing. But I guess like they scrapped it because this is also a film made for kids.
The one of the
fair enough,
top
I suppose.
comments on Letterboxd for this one is the furrification of Ocean's 11 parentheses 2001.
True.
Oh, so
Yep.
I forgot that all of us just wrote as our comments apple bottom jeans.
Oh yeah, we all just wrote apple bottom. I don't know why. I don't remember what the joke was.
We all just wrote apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
I don't remember.
But that's my May.
Well,
At
my
least
May
so I
is
recollect.
pretty chock full here. All right, so here we go. We at the beginning of May, like the first day of May, we watched. I think it was me and Pat and some other people. We watched the Justice League Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That was okay. I mean, I gave it 3 stars. I don't like the animation. It looks really weird.
It does.
But the rest of the movie is pretty good. I really like
Why did they
the
draw their torsos way too big for their heads?
man. I just like it's not just it's the faces, man. Their heads are huge, but the faces are tiny.
Yeah, no,
And,
that's why. Why did they make their torsos way too big and their heads way too small?
Yeah, like it was a good story. I really like Batman in this movie. He's very cool.
He is a key character in this film.
Yeah.
Well, it's a DC movie, right? So of course Batman's a key character.
This is where the famous joke of "it was me, Barry."
Yep, it's from this
came from
movie.
this movie, and I think that's why we watched it.
Yeah, probably. I feel like it was either that or just me being me. I harassed you to watch it.
It was probably a mixture of that and just you being like, this is the movie where he goes, "It was me, Barry." We also watched. I don't remember why we did this, because it wasn't on May the 4th. But me and Pat rewatched the first Star Wars movie, but it wasn't on the 4th.
Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, every year it's requirement, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. On May the 4th, you have to watch the very first Star Wars movie. And if you could find if you could find the original cut, you have to watch that one, okay? This is a requirement. I'm telling you all right now, so don't forget it. Yeah, so it's a classic. What can you really say that hasn't been said already about Star Wars? That's the most cliche thing I could even think about to say, but really, it's true. Like, it's Star Wars. There's not really anything you could say about it that's new. I don't know. Do you have anything to add?
Not to Star Wars.
Interesting. Okay, so I watched for the first time because a bunch of people forced me to. We watched Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, I think.
That is the thing we did. I forgot we watched Mean Girls.
Yeah, we watched Mean Girls. There's a lot of people that
Was
I
it
know.
on? That wasn't Mean Girls Day, was it?
No, Mean Girls Day is in October, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, Mean
couple
Girls
of
Day
months
is in
before Mean
October.
Girls Day.
Yeah, we watched it May 10th. But anyways, I don't think the date mattered at all, but we just wanted to watch Mean Girls. But yeah, I gave it 2 stars. Like I know a lot of people who say Mean Girls is like the funniest movie they've ever seen. I just don't get it. But I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't have anything else to say. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe
Nah, that's
I'm
fair.
just not a girl. I don't know.
I mean, I think Mean Girls as a movie is dated for its time. Like it was made for that specific era.
Yeah, 2004. What a year.
Mm.
Lindsay Lohan. What an actress. Is she the one? Is she the one she's in Hunger Games, right? No, that's someone else. Sorry.
Oh, that's Jennifer Lawrence.
That's Jennifer Lawrence. Lindsay Lohan's the one in Scary Movie. And Freaky Friday, that's her, right?
She did Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis.
I
What?
think so. Let me check.
Yeah.
Let me check. Yes,
Yeah.
okay, I'm right. Yes, good.
Good, as if somebody was gonna shoot you if you
She
did.
was in The Parent Trap. Well, I haven't seen The Parent Trap, so.
I forgot that Lindsay Lohan has like a pretty good repertoire.
Well, anyways, moving on for May. What's here that was not?
Oh,
an
I'm not done
episode?
in May. I have
Yeah,
more
I know.
movies
No,
in May.
I'm not done in May.
Okay.
So we watched Velocipaster. That was
Yep.
great.
That
Oh
was
yeah,
part
we
of-
watched Velocipaster
Was
for
part of poop shoot night.
The part of Poop Shoot Night. I watched Wish Dragon, which was not bad. Honestly, it was pretty good. I liked Wish
Yeah,
Dragon a lot.
That's a movie we started watching together. Then I left.
Yeah, then you left, and I finished it without you.
Aladdin.
No,
It's
it's not.
just
No, it's
Aladdin.
not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. People need to stop saying that. It's not just Aladdin.
The
okay?
formula is exactly like Aladdin.
Dude, by that logic, any movie with a genie in it is just Aladdin.
No,
Exactly,
I'm
you get
talking
it.
even
You
the same
understand.
steps in terms of the story.
No, this is completely different from Aladdin, guys. You guys need to watch it. It is really funny. I really like the dragon. I really like the message at the end. It's great. Very good. Very good. It's not Aladdin. We also watched Morbius. That's cool. I watched.
Moving on from that.
Yeah, moving on. This is around the time where I started watching a lot of Top Gear again. It comes in waves. So I watched like the Burma special and the Patagonia special, but we're not going to go on that. Those are great specials though. If you like Top Gear, watch all the Top Gear specials. They're really funny. We watched The Room again. Don't know why. We watched Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which was a fun movie. I liked it.
Podcast episode.
Yeah, another scrapped podcast episode. I don't know why we scrapped it, because it was like I don't know, but it was fun. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I thought it was fine.
I would watch it again. Sora is in it.
Sorry?
Sora's hair is in it.
Oh, the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Movie.
I watched Madagascar 2, Escape to Africa, good movie. I watched the Family Guy Star Wars movies, and that's all the. I was just gonna not talk about that. But yeah, those are all the non-podcast movies that I watched. I watched a lot. Oh yeah, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. But I watched
we watched that
a
together
lot.
in cinema.
Yeah, we watched that together.
Not in cinema,
Yeah, at home.
at home.
Steph and I watched it together in the cinema.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched. Is that everything? I watched Senior Year, another shitty Netflix rom-com. There's a trend here. This one is starring Rebel Wilson. This movie sucks. There'll be more Netflix rom-coms sprinkled out throughout the year. A common trend between all of them is gonna be it kind of sucked.
Yeah, I don't know what's with you. I don't know how the shitty rom-coms attract you. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I love them. I eat that shit up.
Keep them coming, Netflix. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Watch
There's
them
one
keep
person
them
that's gonna
coming
watch
for
them.
me. I will watch them. You know what's like a shitty movie will come out that if people are like, "Who asked for this?" It's me. It's always me. It's me every time. I watched Top Gun Maverick. So not
yeah.
a scrapped podcast episode, but a suggested podcast episode that we just didn't do because Lib hasn't seen it.
I have seen it.
Well, I got the time.
Oh yeah, like we watched it together.
Yeah, but at the time.
Yeah.
I fucking love this movie. It is in my top whatever list. 5 out of 5. This movie's amazing. And yeah, that's all I have for me.
Steph, do you have anything else for me?
Nope. May, what a month.
What a month.
Gonna be May.
But I am excited for what we watched together in July. I'm very happy that we did this.
Well, June is next. I guess you skipped June too.
Yep, I skipped June.
So in June,
We started with Rubber.
yeah, I started with Turning Red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's when I watched Turning Red. But then we watched Rubber, part of Scoopy Poopy. But
I think that's my favorite Scoopy Poopy movie we've seen so far.
look, I
Rubber's great.
love Rubber. I love. See, here's the thing about Rubber. Okay, Rubber is a terrible movie, but the thing is, it's trying to be a terrible movie. The whole point of the movie is that's like Seinfeld. It's a movie where everything happens for no reason.
A movie about nothing.
That's it. It's a movie about and it achieves what it's trying to do. But as a movie, it's fucking horrible.
It comes off as a movie that's like, oh, it's supposed to be philosophical. It's supposed to make you think about life and the universe and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, no.
But it's just a tire rolling through the desert, psychically killing people. That's it.
That's it.
There's no like undertone. There's no secret message. It's just that. and I think it does that very well.
Everything happens for no reason. What do you want to add to this, Pat?
To Rubber.
Rubber is fucking amazing. It's such a fun movie to watch.
I want to say this. So okay, I don't know if this is I'm pretty sure this is the first time we mentioned this person on the podcast. So on Letterboxd, there is a reviewer who is vegan, and this vegan reviewer pretty much watches like it's her job. She's a she's a journalist. That's what they're called. She's
We're
a
gonna call her.
gamer,
We're
you
gonna
were
say
about
a
to say?
gaming journalist, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought, is she a
No,
gamer?
I wasn't gonna say gamer.
She was like, so her job is being a gamer.
She's a film journalist, and she rates movies very, very, very strictly, as a journalist should. But sometimes she's a bit too strict. Okay, I don't want to out this person's name, but she does have like 2 million followers on Letterboxd. So you probably, if you use Letterboxd, you know about this person. But she rated this movie 3.5.
Huh.
3.5.
And there's a few non-vegan type things in this film as well.
Yeah. Every time she makes a review, she puts like a vegan warning and then a vegan prose at the bottom. It's hilarious. You guys should follow her. And also, she just makes good reviews in general. Like she's very
Yeah, she's funny.
she's a master of the craft,
funny.
honestly.
She's a master of criticism, I suppose.
I mean, that's her job. She's a journalist, so like she's a master of
Yeah.
what she does. Props to her. She has to watch like 20 movies every day.
Yeah, if it's your job, then what are you gonna do, right?
Another thing we watched was a movie that our friend Nat made us watch, R.I.P.D.
Before
Nat
we
made
move
you
on-
watch that.
Yeah.
Before we get on to R.I.P.D., can I segue? Can I interrupt and segue into it?
What?
Because the reason we watched R.I.P.D. is because I was on Discord with Nat, and I was watching The Spy Next Door, the Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when that movie ended, I'm like, wow, I want to watch another movie like this. A very vague description. And that's like, you should watch R.I.P.D. So I put it on. And that's when Lib joined.
Yeah, I caught the very end of The Spy Next Door, and then we watched R.I.P.D. And man, it sure was a movie.
Before, just to throw it in there, but before Spy Next Door, we watched Top Gun together. But
Yeah.
the original.
The top comment on R.I.P.D. on Letterboxd is, "I still haven't seen Seven Samurai." Hey,
That's
and you know
all I
what?
want to say about
Neither have
R.I.P.D.
Yeah, same. Painfully below average.
This movie got a sequel. I wanna point that out.
Yeah, it did this year. Well, this year,
Yeah,
last year, it's 2022. Jesus Christ.
Last year, it got a fucking sequel. I
Yep.
don't know why. I don't know who was the motivation behind it, but it ended up getting a sequel. And it lost money.
Yeah, it totally did. Then we watched Zootopia, but that was for the podcast. I rewatched Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension, which is a film from my childhood. Interestingly, Phineas and Ferb themselves are not from my childhood, only specifically this movie, because we didn't have Disney Channel growing up. Well, here in Canada, it was called Family Channel growing up, and when I wanted to watch it, I went to the local video store and I said, "Do you have Phineas and Ferb?" And they said yes, and they gave me this, and I thought this was the whole thing. I thought this was Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, my friend.
I only found out literally like 4 years ago that Phineas and Ferb was an actual TV show. Like I was really clueless about anything on Disney Channel, Disney XD, whatever. Like I only watched Gravity Falls like 3 years ago, but it's great. You guys should all watch Gravity Falls. It's fucking good. And Wander Over Yonder, very good. All great shows.
I miss Wander Over Yonder. It got canceled way too soon.
Yeah. Same with Gravity Falls.
But Gravity Falls had a fantastic ending. Wander Over
Yeah,
Yonder just sort of left it.
They had a good ending. Like the ending of Gravity Falls kind of was like, well, the last season of Gravity Falls really felt abrupt because it was clear that they had more stuff planned, but they just couldn't do it. Uh,
Ugh.
but anyways, sad stories. Let's move on
Mhm.
to Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
A
I
movie
forgot
I
that you
wanted,
watched 2 French films.
a movie I wanted to watch with Lib, but I was not there for that. I was there
I
for the
watched
next French movie.
there's 2 Bon Cop, Bad Cop movies. I watched both of them, and they are the best so far, the best francophone films I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, okay. So guys, we're about to educate you on Quebec culture. So in June, in Quebec, we celebrate a holiday called Saint Jean Baptiste, and
Why did you say it like
because
that?
it's a Quebecois, yeah. So we have this thing called Saint Jean Baptiste, and it's basically just, I think it was something that happened in Quebec. I don't really know, but now it's a day, and everybody gets a day off on that day, and it's just like, hey, bon Saint Jean, tout le monde. So we're like, let's watch a Quebecois movie, and it was like the whole week, like just that the whole week of Saint Jean Baptiste, we watched Quebecois movies, and we started with Bon Cop, Bad Cop because it's just the classic. If you're from Montreal, chances are 100%, like not even chances are 100%, you've seen this movie, and it's either you saw it on your own volition or a teacher showed it to you. The second one is what happened to me.
Or if you lived somewhere in Quebec, you must have seen it on billboards because they advertised the absolute shit out of this movie.
Yeah.
I remember as I was think it was like transition between kid to teenager where I saw these on billboards, and it's been those 2 main characters have been staring me in the face every time I went to my nonna's house. Every time. And I had no idea what this movie until I finally, as an adult, I went, it's time. It's time to watch this movie. And I watched the movie, and it turned out to be very good. I
Wait,
really
I
liked it. I
I
enjoyed it.
I heard it's great. I want to watch it, but
It's like
I
fucking, dude.
I
It's like fucking saying like St. Patrick's Day, like something happened in Ireland.
yeah, so if you want like something funny, it's not all in French. There are English parts, but it's a French cop with an English cop. You got to know a bit of French. But if you want to have a good time, you should watch Bad Cop, Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Shut up. Moving on.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I was there for Crazy, another
Yeah.
French movie we watched.
This one's 100% in French, so if you don't know French, the fuck.
I have subtitles.
This movie's real good.
Subtitles.
I enjoyed it a lot.
This movie was fantastic. Like it was a very pleasant surprise. Very good movie. I cannot for the life of me tell you what it's about.
This is the same person that said, "If you don't know French, too bad."
It's a. I don't want to call it a coming of age story, but it's just a story about a boy coming to terms with his sexuality and his relationship with his father and
Yeah.
his family life and his siblings and stuff. I guess it's kind of a coming of age story, but also like it has some other themes thrown in there. It's really good. I would recommend it if you don't mind watching French movies. It's great.
I mean, most of the reason why I don't know pretty much anything that happened in this movie is because at the same time I was playing Sea of Thieves. I remember that like distinctly. But that movie made me cry because it played Space Oddity, and Space Oddity always, without fail, makes me cry. But moving on, the last French movie that we watched for Saint Jean Baptiste was Starbuck. Pat, were you there when we watched Starbuck?
Not there for Starbuck either.
Starbuck is really, really good. I gave it 5 stars. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen, honestly. I love it. There is an English version of this movie called Delivery Man, starring who was it? Chris Pratt is in it, but he's not like the lead. Vince Vaughn and Chris Pratt are in the English version called Delivery Man. But in Starbuck, no, it's Patrick Ward. You know Patrick Ward.
The name sounds very familiar.
He's the French cop in Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. And he's also on billboards everywhere on Montreal, like everywhere. I see
I
him all
think
the
he's
time.
one of the top actors in the.
Oh yeah,
in the
he's
province.
like Quebec's favorite actor or something like that. But Yeah, very good movie. If I would recommend any French movie to anybody, it's Starbuck. I love that movie. You guys should check it out if you haven't seen it.
I need
Uh,
to see Starbuck.
yeah. So what else did we watch in June? We finished Obi-Wan Kenobi. At the time I gave it 3.5, but I think I would give it something lower nowadays.
Nowadays,
Kenobi?
same year.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What would you give it?
Hello?
Are you,
Hello? Alright.
did you die?
At least I
You know,
talking to the only other person who has seen the series.
my brain died, sorry. Yeah, I would also give a lower score. I think Kenobi's fine.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it definitely has not aged well, which is weird because it's not that old, right? Like it came out last year. But I feel like time has kind of not been kind to it in general.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of June, it's mostly all podcast stuff, except for Lightyear, which we're gonna touch on here because this was a this was something interesting that happened because when we watched Lightyear, I gave it 4 stars, and then when we recorded the episode for Lightyear, I think I was like, yeah, maybe I'll lower it to like 3 stars. But now it's kind of gone a bit up for me because like the more time has passed, I actually like it a bit more now. I don't know what it is. Like I felt the need to rewatch it again, but I just keep going. I just keep coming back to it in my mind. I really like Lightyear. I don't know why.
I also want to point out this is also another really cool example of an animation company going forward because I like to think that Pixar is as much as Pixar is with Disney and Disney bought Pixar, I consider Pixar its own little animation studio. And to see how far Pixar has come from when they did the first Toy Story, you see that evolution, and I think they're getting closer and closer to being able to do humans.
Like this is the best looking Pixar movie ever made.
It's absolutely beautiful, and
Like,
I can only imagine what they're gonna do with Elemental.
yeah, no, I was just about to bring up Elemental. I can't wait for Elemental. That's gonna be so good. Like just looking at that trailer, it's oozing. It's oozing, oozing creativity.
Sorry, correction. From Soul, I forgot that Soul existed. From Soul, they started like really touching up on their human design. It's looking absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what program they're using now. Maybe it's the same program that they fucking used
In
to
the
advertise
90s, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they evolved it probably, but like.
I don't know.
Yeah, the same one that they allow doctors to visualize patients.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't know, maybe they're using NASA computers to animate.
Disney has the budget. They could give them all the technology they need.
Pat, do you have anything to add to Lightyear?
Watch the episode.
Well, I mean, like, has anything changed?
Not really. No, my opinion hasn't really changed. Like, I think it's fine.
Did we do an episode of Top Gun Maverick? This I actually don't remember.
No.
No, because this might have been a scrapped episode. Oh no, we said it before. Yeah, it was a.
Yeah, we said it before.
Oh my god, that's right. We did a double feature that day.
Yeah, we watched Lightyear
Yeah.
and Top Gun Maverick.
And I fell asleep in the theater.
Yeah, he fell asleep watching Top Gun. How do you fall asleep watching
And
the
it wasn't even
loudest
like
movie?
okay, Top Gun. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Top Gun Maverick has without spoiling it. Has very few moments where there's actually not like loud booming noises, especially when we went to an IMAX theater. There's very few times that we'd hear actual very few times we would actually hear like piss quiet. And all of a sudden, like I forgot what time we went to the movie theater, but it was like somewhere around 10 that we went into the theater halfway through the movie as planes are fucking flying at each other, causing actual sonic booms. I start gnawing off. And then Pat looks at me, hits me on the shoulder, and then tells me to look at the screen.
Yeah, that's no. How do you fall asleep watching that? Anyways, moving on. I watched La La Land again because, as you do, and I watched Superman Returns. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I remember why. Yeah, okay, because I just looked at my review for it. It was my parents' wedding anniversary, and they put it on because they really like this movie. Unfortunately, I didn't. It's not good. Not a good movie.
What a twisted turn of events.
I did not enjoy watching Superman Returns, a sequel for a movie that I did not watch. Yeah. All right. What I think that's all my June. June was a full year.
Full year?
Full month. June. I mean, 2022 was a big month. We're only in fucking June. We're an hour 30 minutes in this episode.
Even before we even started the episode, I started taking a look at my list and seeing how small, and I took a look at like Lib's list and Pat's list and see how many movies there were. And in my mind, I'm looking at this going, "Oh, it's been a short fucking year." Now listing every movie one off and remembering some of them myself because I don't use Letterboxd. Like it's now coming back to me how like, oh, this was like a nice full year of like film and cinema.
So what did you watch in June, Pat?
What I watched in June? Not much, honestly. I watched one movie that wasn't a podcast movie, and I believe you mentioned it. It's Rap City Street Kids.
Oh my God, Rhapsody Street. Why was that not in here? Where is it?
Oh
Yeah,
my
we watched
god!
that together.
Why is
No,
that not
let's be safe.
here?
That
I
was
was-
for Poop Scoop night, and
Where the
yeah.
fuck
I
is it?
I wasn't there watching it with you guys, but I know exactly what
That
you're
was
talking
July.
about. Why
No,
did you
it-
guys watch that?
That was June 3rd.
Mine says July 3rd.
Is this not loading properly? That's weird. Okay, well.
I don't know, but
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it is July 3rd. It is July 3rd. I know I've watched nothing. I've watched nothing else in June. That was it.
well, I guess that's a good way to move on to July, which was I think literally almost only. Yeah, this is pretty much only podcast movies. The only few that are not. We watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I can't remember
Yay!
why, but yeah, we watched. We all watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit together. Very
Fantastic
fun.
film. Very highly recommend. A very big turning age for cinema and animation as a whole. Wonderful collaboration. Wonderful voice acting. Mel Blanc, rest his soul. Big voices in the Looney Tunes industry, as well as the only. I repeat, the only collaboration in cinema history where Disney and Warner Brothers were okay with each other.
And they
wonderful
got Robert Zemeckis to tie a bow on all this, director of Forrest Gump and Back to the Future. Like how this was a match made in heaven, and it'll probably never happen again.
You'll never. They tried doing it again with fucking Chip and Dale, and I'm like, go fuck yourself.
See, the thing is, they didn't, right? See, the thing is, they didn't.
Yeah. They really tried, and I said, yeah, no, you're not.
This is, I think this is your favorite movie, right?
This is my
Yep.
favorite movie. Yes.
Yep. Man, great, like great movie. I love it.
Or to keep the little trend going, that for little reviews, I only got a quote. If you don't have any sense of humor, you might as well be dead. That is my quote takeaway from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's a good quote. Here's something we watched in July that was a scrapped episode. Ms. Marvel. We ended up just like fucking not caring at all.
Actually, I didn't mention it earlier, but Moon Knight was something we watched, and I didn't talk about it. Another scrapped episode. All the Disney Plus Marvel shows are scrapped episodes.
Yeah, remember when we did an episode on WandaVision? We said we'll do more.
That's the only one we're doing.
Yep, pretty
They
much.
lied.
Unless something really good pops up, which it probably
So
won't.
it's the only one we're doing.
So far, Disney Plus shows have been very bleak.
Yep. So moving on, Pat made me watch Dragon Ball Super Broly, so that was cool.
Yeah.
We watched Batman. I watched Batman Returns on TV. This is Danny DePenguin is in it. Well, you liked that.
I love that name, Danny the Penguin.
I watched a little like animated documentary called The Lego Story. It's just like, you know, it's in the name, Lego Story. Rewatched Knives Out because you gotta do that. Rewatched Everything Ever All at Once because you gotta do that. Rewatched Ocean's 12 because you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Come on, man, this was a good month, dude. This was a good fucking month. But the most like interesting one is that I think Pat was there for when I watched it. I watched Akira.
Akira's. I love this movie.
I gave it 4 stars. The animation's really good. The story is what?
Okay, that's a very suitable response for the story of Akira.
And the music is fucking amazing. Like it's
Yeah,
It's Blade Runner. Like it's great.
I think Akira gets better on subsequent rewatches only because it's such a weird fucking movie that like the first time like a lot of people label Akira as this movie that like doesn't make sense unless you're told what happens. And I think that's true only because it's so like batshit fucking insane that you can't like stop and sit down and absorb what's happening because you're too distracted by what's happening.
There is a lot happening. This is hand drawn, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot happening on screen at once in this movie. And while all of this is happening, you still got to read the subtitles. So most of your focus is on the subtitles so you can, read the actual fucking shit that's happening in the movie. And then like around the subtitles, you got these colors and explosions and shooting and all this shit happening. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, what is going on? But man, it's cool. It's a really, really cool movie.
I would really recommend for people who have seen it and maybe couldn't get into it, or people who haven't seen it, to give it a shot. And also just like go back to it. Revisit Akira if you've already seen it and maybe you don't like it or you didn't get it. Revisit it because I think there's a lot of this movie to love. But it is a lot to take in.
I went on a little bit of a deep dive when like thinking about Akira, and I found out like the movie ain't shit. Like if you start reading the actual manga where the story is based off, it's worse in terms of storyline.
Yeah, well,
it confuses the absolute shit out of you.
yeah, well, we're not gonna get into the manga.
Yeah, the manga has the advantage of actually being the full completed story, whereas the movie isn't.
Yeah.
Let's
But yeah, anyway,
just
we're
stop
not gonna
talking
talk
about
the
Akira
manga.
because we're gonna be here forever.
I could go on
confuse
about
the
Akira
audience
for a
more.
long time. It's a really good movie.
So, what did you guys watch in July?
Aside from Akira, that's the only movie I watched in July that wasn't for the podcast.
Well, Steph?
Or like, oh, actually, wait, no, we watched. Oh no, this was for the podcast. I said in the Northman, that was for the
Yeah,
podcast.
that was for the podcast. Check out the episode.
That was a good together watch too. I
Oh
like
yeah,
that
you were
watch.
there too. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we
yeah,
kept.
so
we kept
I didn't know because it's not on your letterbox.
we kept referring to it as the cinematic version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really loved. I completely forgot its name. Sorry, what was the name again?
The Northman.
The Northman.
The Viking.
Because there's a movie called The Barbarian, which for some reason, ever since that came out, that confused the absolute shit out of me on who the Northman and then the Barbarian. I thought the Barbarian was the Northman.
We watched the Northman. Good movie. Let's keep going. 5 stars for me. But like, watch the episode if you want to hear our thoughts. But man, we need to keep this train going.
Yeah, sorry. Moving on to August. I got nothing. Lib.
I have a big one. So when we have some podcast scraps this month.
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, we got a few. But I watched Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. This came out.
Oh
on
yes,
Netflix.
that was so good.
It is a fan fucking
It was
tastic.
really good.
Aside from that, I watched Elvis.
Meh.
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 I watched Bullet Train, which I rewatched this week actually, and I've turned around on a little bit.
Yeah, I
Didn't we
love
watch that in
Bullet
theaters as well?
we watched it together in
Yeah,
theaters.
we all. That was another like on a whim one. Like I remember joining the VC and you guys were like, "We're going to watch Bullet Train." I was like, "Oh, can I come?"
We were pleasantly surprised. I laughed at the end.
and that's it. That's all I watched.
I mean, I fucking love Bullet Train, man. It's like almost 5 stars for me, man.
Pat
Yeah,
was worried the entire when we first saw the trailer for Bullet Train really quickly. He was worried that like it wasn't going to take place fully on the train. To his surprise, it was fully on the train. It's all on the train.
Fully on the train. Yeah, the whole movie.
Yeah. He got what he wanted. Pat finally got what he wanted.
That Fiji water montage is like hilarious.
Dude, shut up! Spoilers.
It's not just guys. If you're watching a movie, look out for the Fiji water.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Moving on.
Yeah, I rewatched it this week. I liked it more the second go. It's a fun movie. I think if you want a dumb fun movie, you should give it a chance because it's dumb fun.
It's definitely done fun.
It's done well.
We also watched. So I forced Pat to watch these. These are the I Am Groot shorts that we watched, all 5 of them. They're all
Yeah.
bad.
Was this for the podcast or this wasn't?
No.
No.
Why?
I just forced them to do it. Like, we were just on VC and Pat was like, "You want to watch something?" I was like, "Oh, I Am Groot."
You notice how I didn't mention them? That's my thoughts on them.
Yep. I also rewatched Monsters University this month. That was good. I also rewatched all of the Marcel the Shell with Shoes On YouTube shorts in preparation for the movie, and then I didn't watch the movie. Well, if you remember last episode, on episode 41, I recommended, during Backlogged, I recommended that me and Pat watch Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and we're not going to talk about that this episode, but next episode, we are going to talk about Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, so make sure you check it out.
I watched it. It's good. I liked it. Very cute. Almost made me cry.
Always made me cry.
Almost made me cry.
And at the end of August, I watched the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile. See, we finally came full circle on that. Death on the Nile is fine. It's less of a mystery movie, more of a just like a silent comedy. I don't know how to say it. It's like it's not really a whodunit. It's like someone got murdered on a boat. We got to find out who it is, but instead, look at these jokes. That's what it is. It's not that great. Kenneth Bragan, listen, dude. I'm going to say it. You're not a good director. You're
hitting him where it hurts.
You're just not a good director. I'm sorry to tell you. Artemis Fowl was garbage.
He did Artemis Fowl?
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
did. Artemis Fowl, he did it.
That stunk.
Yeah, he did Cinderella, he did Belfast, Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express, pretty good. Thor 1, I think it's good, but most people say it's so like, you know.
He did Thor 1?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, cool guy.
Cool, man. Cool guy.
But that's pretty much it for August.
I'll start September off running because I rewatched Spider-Man: No Way Home,
Yeah,
a
we all
podcast
did.
movie, and then I watched Click, a podcast movie. But all that was built up. It was set up for the movie of all time, Dragon Ball Superhero. It was fine.
I thought you were gonna set up to Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
We watched it again.
Yeah, but no, we're not gonna talk about that till later.
I don't know, like, okay, in terms of story, it's like the same. It's a Dragon Ball. What do I expect, right? It's Dragon Ball.
It's
like,
Dragon Ball movie.
I don't understand. You and Nat really don't like the animation style. I think they fucking pulled it off.
Here's my review of Dragon Ball Superhero. Okay, my review in 30 seconds. This movie has one of the biggest ass pulls of the franchise, and it represents everything I hate about Dragon Ball as a franchise. But I fucking biggest ass pulls of the franchise and represents everything I hate about modern Dragon Ball. I fucking loved it. It was so cool.
What do you mean ass pulls? What are you talking about?
We'll talk about it after that. We'll talk about it after this. After that. Okay. It was so cool.
Are you talking about like all the, I guess, the formula?
Okay. Well, anyways, before this becomes an anime talk, in September, I don't know if I should call it a live action, but I guess it is, the live action Pinocchio movie came out.
Okay, good. I was gonna mention it.
Yeah. Look. Okay, because this is where I differ from a lot of people. Okay, because everybody says this movie sucks, including this guy right here who's gonna talk about how much it sucks. Steph, talk about how much it sucks.
How's my mic? Is my mic good? Am I good?
You're really close to the mic.
You have one fucking job.
All right, so I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but he said you had one fucking job.
Like Disney, you had one job.
There you go. That picked up. That one picked up.
I don't understand. You had everything right there on a silver platter, and all. Like, I don't understand why you had to add in the love interest that went nowhere. I don't understand why. Oh my god! Why was it shadow people? Why was it shadow people? Oh my god!
Now, here's where I differ. I think this movie's good. I like it. I like this movie. I think it's good.
Art is in the eye of the beholder. That's all I have to say about it.
Now everybody's just mad. Everybody's just mad because they changed the story. But I think change is good, and I like the changes they made, and I like this movie.
You're stupid.
Can I read my review? Like straight up read my review.
You didn't even watch it.
No, let me read my review. Let me read my 5-star review of Pinocchio.
Okay.
So I didn't actually watch it. I was sitting in a Discord call with people who were. I wasn't even looking at the stream, but apparently I followed along well enough. So well, in fact, that I left with 20 minutes left. But I still watched it. Yeah, cha-cha real smooth.
Oh, we need to watch that movie.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it again. I want you to give it the same goddamn review and the same likeness to it that you have now, Lib.
Okay, I will, and I guarantee you I will, because it's just the Pinocchio story with a twist. What's wrong with change, Steph?
It's not change.
What's wrong with change?
Change has to go over. Change has to have an overarching story. I don't mind if you do little peaks and tweaks of it. That's fine, but they have to have a reason why they're there.
It's there to make the movie longer.
No, it's not.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm back now. But I want to mention that this was a beginning step of this new trend that I have been seeing, not only in the film industry, but also in the gaming industry. That Pinocchio is for some reason making a resurgence, which I absolutely love. I like that people having their own little takes on it. And we'll get to the next movie very soon.
I mean, you know why, right?
Why Pinocchio is making a resurgence?
Yeah.
I don't.
It just became fair use like 2 years ago.
Are you serious? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's why Lies of P is a thing.
I was not aware of this, but yes, Lies of P, the video game, the Souls type Pinocchio video game. Yes, you heard correctly.
Which looks amazing.
Again,
not a video game.
Not
podcast,
a video game
though.
podcast. But yes, I like this new trend that Pinocchio. I didn't know about this. That Pinocchio became fair use. Like it has suddenly started popping off.
Yep.
Like everybody wanted to get their hands on it, so I can't wait for more.
Look at Winnie the Pooh. Same thing's happening there.
Yep.
Okay, but Winnie the Pooh is a little bit different.
I mean, it's the same story, really.
Oh, by the way, Steph, they are showing Blood and Honey in Cineplex.
Let's go! VIP seats.
Anyways, moving on.
Right, moving on.
What's next?
That's everything I watched in September that wasn't podcast related.
Oh, I watched a few stuff in September that wasn't podcast related. I watched a video called Capybara Walking.
What?
It's called Capybara Walking.
What's it about?
It's in 1887, a video of a capybara walking. One of the first motion pictures ever made. Want to see it?
No.
We don't have the time.
Nah, yeah, you do. Come on, here you go.
You button pusher.
Check it out. Are you guys watching?
Yep.
Look at this. Look at this. Okay, I pull up, go into the after party.
I'm seeing a trend of today's episode. Live watching the first of something.
Anyways, after that I watched Elvis. That was for the podcast, but I just want to say I still haven't finished it. Just an update on that. Yeah, it was for backlogged, but just as an update for that backlogged, I still have not finished the movie. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think I will. But moving on.
Which movie? Sorry, I zoned out.
Elvis.
Oh, Elvis, yeah.
He made a lot of girls come. That's all I gotta say about that movie.
That's a ToonMan live quote.
So we're switching this to a video game podcast real quick because do you guys know the game Papers, Please?
Oh yeah.
Some really talented people made a short film on Papers, Please, and I watched it in September. It's pretty good. It's really, really good. I'll link it to you guys if you guys want to watch it later. It's like 18 minutes long. It's really, really good. Switching back to a movie podcast, I think it was me and Steph and one other person. We just on a whim just watched Finding Nemo because we felt like it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That's my comfort movie. I like Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I love Finding Nemo. But the funny thing is, I typed Finding Nemo on Letterboxd and then got something called. I typed Finding Dory, and then I got a short film called Dory Finding, and then we watched that, and it was terrible.
It was these little animated shorts with little to no dialogue, and Dory just finding these little trinkets on the bottom of the ocean for like 2 seconds, and then fade to black.
It's just called Dory Finding, man. That's why we watched it. And then to end off September, on September 28th, I finished Cyberpunk Edge Runners, my favorite anime of all time, but it's because I've only seen like 2 of them. It was very, very good. I think at one point we wanted to make an episode on this, but it just didn't happen. But that's pretty much it for September. Now moving on to October. Man, jeez, we're almost there, man. What's oh my god, 2 hours.
We're almost there. I'll start off with mine because I only have one in October, and that's Daniel Radcliffe's What If.
Oh yeah,
a-
yeah, you liked that a lot, didn't you?
I really like this. I've never resonated with a rom-com so much in my life. It's ridiculous. I like this rom-com is like another like weird comfort movie for me. It's like I don't know, like if you ever are like this sort of hopeless romantic or like if you're trying to look for love, like I think this is the movie to watch to like, yeah, still loving this and there's still love in the world. Love works in very weird ways. Unfair, but weird ways. And I really like this movie. It's very well played by Daniel Radcliffe, Mr. Harry Potter himself, and Zoe Kazan. Well done. That's all I got for October.
In October, I watched Blonde, which was the Marilyn
God.
Monroe movie. Yeah,
We're
it
gonna
was-
skip past it.
yeah, we're skipping it. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. We watched Scream, like just as a group, pretty cool. We also watched Kung Fu Panda on my birthday. That was fun.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Did we watch another movie? Well, we watched half a movie before we watched Kung Fu Panda. Didn't we watch Barnyard?
Yeah, we watched a bit of Barnyard too on my birthday.
Little small story. While we were watching Barnyard, the challenge that I gave for my brother because he was such a big Barnyard fanatic is that he turned around.
Shout out to
He
Big
didn't-
Al.
Shout out to Big L. He turned around from the screen as one scene was playing and reenacted the entire scene blindfolded.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see, actually.
I also watched Lupin the Third, the First. So this is a movie that Steph recommended to me a while ago because he was like, "You don't like anime? Watch this."
I didn't say that, but all right.
No, that's the whole point. Like we were talking about how I don't like anime, and then he was like, "You should watch Lupin the Third, the First." And then I watched Lupin the Third, the First, and not only does it have a very confusing name, but it's all right. It's all right. I gave it 3 stars. The animation's pretty smooth, really nice. I've never quite seen animation like this. Music was good, acting was meh, and the girl who sang all the music in Persona 5 is in this movie, so I give it 3 stars.
I like Arsene Lupin. I like Sherlock Holmes. You know, I'm easy to please.
Yeah.
I'm easy to play.
I watched didn't know this was on Letterboxd, but I watched The History of the Entire World, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Just to go back to anime first, because I watched that month. I made a decision in life that I was going to rewatch all the Pokemon movies, all of them, for no reason at all. But it ended up being very, very convenient, given it was announced 2 months later. But I started with Pokemon, the first movie, Pokemon the movie 2000, which released in the year 2000. It's funny, guys. It's the second movie, and it
That's
released in
crazy.
2000. Except it's a lie. It was 99. And then I watched Pokemon 3, the movie. These are all super nostalgic movies for me. I like them. They're fun. Rest in peace, Ash Ketchum. Then
Yep.
He's not gonna die, my
we
god.
watched Werewolf by Night. And this
Oh,
is
yes, you
a
did.
short. It's real good. I quite enjoyed it. This is the best thing Disney Plus has produced.
Yeah, and come on, Disney, make Michael Giacchino direct more stuff.
But more importantly, something Lib neglected to mention. On the same day we watched Scream, we watched another movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We watched Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Did I
A funny
forget, or
story
did I
for
just want
Minions.
Pat to say it?
Funny story for Minions. So we agreed to meet up at my place for a certain time. I was bored, so I was like, let's put on a movie and see if I can finish the movie before everybody shows up. I did.
And it was Minions: Rise of Gru.
And it was Minions: Rise of Gru.
What did you guys think of Minion? I don't think I've ever asked you guys this.
3 stars.
Yeah, I think Rise of Gru is fine. Like, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, I think it's pretty average.
I was there when we watched Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda is great.
Oh wait,
But
hold on. I
one
didn't
movie-
understand what the fuck. Hold on. I didn't understand why everybody was so on the bandwagon that Minions: Rise of Gru is like a list film.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
a
just
remember
meme.
that?
It was just a meme.
it was just Twitter being Twitter.
Yeah.
No, but even on Cinema Score, it was like an A plus.
Like it's fine. I like it. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, it's all right. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
No, you're good. Sorry. But to end off October, there's 3 movies I want to single out because one, I watched The Babadook.
The Babadook.
It is
The Babadook.
an indie thriller, and it was pretty good. I watched it because my friend had to watch it for a class, and I just watched it with them.
Why can't you?
I
be
watched
normal?
I watched Halloween Town. This was for Nat. We watched it in her server. It's a fun time. I haven't seen it in like 20 years. But the most important movie to talk about that I started watching in October. It's a franchise. some lore, some context.
Here it
In
is.
January of 2022, I said I was gonna watch the whole Harry Potter franchise because I had never
Cool.
seen them before, and it is a lot of my friends' favorite franchises or one of their favorite franchises. I was yelled at to no end to watch these movies. So on January 1st, 2022, I need to stress this. January 1st, 2022. I said I would watch the Harry Potter franchise. Now you might notice this is October. Well, on October 31st, on Halloween, I watched Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I thought it was good.
We're gonna be siphoning through the Harry Potter movies as we finish off 2022 here. But that's pretty much it for October.
I will need to make a bet here.
What?
By the time that the Fresh Off the Reel finally comes to its end, that's when Pat will finally watch all of the Harry Potter movies.
He's only missing two. He's only missing two.
Spoilers for the rest of the list. I'm only missing 2.
Yeah. So now, moving on to November, it's time for a bit more lore. There's this joke that me and Pat all had for a while. I don't remember when it started, but it started a while ago, where we're just bored. Sometimes we're bored and we just want to watch a movie, sitting in Discord. And I would just be like, "Hey Pat, want to watch Rocky?" And then he'd say, "No, I don't want to watch Rocky." And then we didn't watch Rocky. But one day, this went on for a really long time. But then one day, I said, "Pat, do you want to watch Rocky?" And he said the magic word, "Maybe." And then we watched it. On November 3rd, 2022, we started our Rocky marathon.
Which is still ongoing. So we'll also be siphoning for the Rocky movies as they come up.
Yep.
In preparation for Creed 3. This is why we decided to watch these movies when we did.
So Creed 3 is coming out this March. We will be doing an episode on it. So we're going to be rewatching all the Rocky movies and the Creed movies, even the poopy ones. Even Rocky 5 and 6.
I'm sure we'll have more to say about Rocky and Creed when we get to Creed 3. We'll
Yep.
go over the whole franchise.
After that, we rewatched Halloween in the server. And, you know, because it's November, so you watch Halloween. Of course, that's what happens.
We watched Halloween in November because I was there at least like at the middle of it. That was in
Yeah.
November.
Yeah, it was November 4th. Yep.
I watched Halloween Ends on November 3rd, and then that's why we watched Halloween.
Yep, we watched Halloween 1 because we were like, man, yeah.
All right.
November 5th, I watched Aquaman because I was like, you know what? I've never watched any of the DCU movies. I'll watch Aquaman because it's the least bad. And yeah, it's the least bad one. It's pretty good. I gave it 3.5. Honestly, I thought the jokes were funny. I thought the acting was great. And I like the story. And the set pieces are really pretty. It's just a beautiful movie. I like it. I like Aquaman.
And I think Lib is wrong.
No, I understand. Then on November 8th, we did it, guys. We watched Rocky 2. We did it. We continued it. The joke didn't end. Then we watched some podcast movies. Kung Pao Under the Fist, great. The Thing, and then we watched The Thing 2 days later. Yep. Go check out our episodes on The Thing, which I think was last episode. Yeah, it was.
Yep. No, it was.
Shit, dude. It's been a while. We took a nice long break there. Happy holidays, guys. And then on November 16th, You won't believe what we watched. Rocky 3.
That's when I joined into the mix a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was good. It's good. I love Rocky 3. Then we watched Black Panda Wakanda Forever, and which is
another Scraps podcast episode.
yeah. All right, so guys, sorry to tell you this. I don't know if anyone was looking forward to it really, but for the last like 3 episodes, we were saying that we would do Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but guess what we're not doing? Black Panda Wakanda Forever.
Not because it was bad. I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. 4 stars.
I just
Very
think
good.
It was very enjoyable. I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever has one of the most appealing world building I've ever seen in a Marvel film.
Yeah, it's 4 stars.
It's
Huge props. Huge
I
props to the
actually
musicians.
I like Shuri in this movie, which is saying a lot because I don't like Shuri.
Yeah, I hate her. And, like she was up there with Nebula, but like now she's down here with Captain America. Characters I don't like but tolerate.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever was good. It was a pretty decent way to end off the phase. I just don't really want to dedicate an episode to it anymore. I feel like we missed the time.
Yeah.
We were moving on to other projects.
Oh, but
Bigger and better things.
whoever I can't find her name in the cast list, but the actress who played the Queen won a Golden Globe last night.
Well,
And it was the
did a great job.
first actor to ever win a Golden Globe from a Marvel movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's really okay.
Yeah.
But good for her. I think she did really. She
Sorry,
portrayed her character very well.
I can't find her name in the cast list. But yeah, and also in November we watched on the 28th a very fun day because we watched Glass Onion, and man, what a good movie! I rewatched it.
film.
I rewatched it like a couple days ago. Man, it's so good, so good, so good. You guys should all watch Knives Out, and you should also watch Glass Onion.
Yeah, both movies are fantastic. Maybe something we'll talk about more in the future. Teehee.
I love Elon Musk,
but,
a biopic.
Elon Musk biopic. Yeah, like Lib was saying, where we continued the Rocky movies. We got the end of Rocky 3 in this month. I continued the Harry Potter movies. I watched Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet of Fire. Yeah, and Goblet of Fire. That's it. I watched those ones in November.
Nice.
Mhm.
They're good. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one. That's a very common, big pea-brained opinion because everyone agrees, but it's true. It's the best one. And I haven't seen the last 2 yet, the duology, but I'm sure this will still be the best one.
That's probably gonna stay. Did you watch anything in November, Steph?
Wait, I have one more. I have 2 more movies to
Aside
talk
from
about.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
know
ahead.
what the last one is. Let's save it.
Before the last one, I watched a One Piece film Red.
Oh, how
Ooh.
was it?
It was a One Piece movie.
Yeah, how was it?
No, how was it? How was the One Piece movie?
It was fine.
Alright.
How many stars?
3.5, but it might go down to a 3. It
All
was fine.
right. So what did you watch in November, Steph?
Nothing unless the ones that I remembered with you guys. So
Well,
Dicembre. Let's go to
No,
Christmas
wait,
time.
before-
Wait, whoa,
hold on.
I'm pumping the brakes. What's happening?
Hold on. On November 29th, we watched something really special.
We all did.
Yeah, you were there.
You
What
were
did
you
we
went
watch?
You were there.
What did
I
we
don't-
watch?
We watched the Super Mario Bros.
Oh yeah.
there. Do
Do the Mario swing your arms from side to side. Yeah, we watched the Mario movie because we were like, hey, all right, moving on. We went to in December. We continued our Rocky marathon. December 2nd, we watched Rocky 4, and that's where we're at. We stopped there.
Rocky 5 stinks. This is the first month where we have no podcast episode.
Yeah, because we took a
took a
really
break.
we
Took
took
a
a
nice
we
long
took a
break.
nice long break. It was a very good break. I mean, it was just it was the holiday season, time to hang out with friends, family, go on vacation, do whatever, It was a little break, the break
Get
between
yourself
seasons.
some figgy pudding.
Get some
great.
figgy pudding, have a Coquet Saint-Jacques. And then you could watch Big Mama's House.
And then
We watched
nice
not the
segue.
first one, but we watched Big Mama's House 2 and Big Mama's House 3.
one of our friends did watch the first one. I don't know if anyone joined him on that, but we did join him on the second one and the third one.
I was not aware there was a third Big Mama's house. I had DVDs of both 1 and 2 Big Mama's house. I was not aware there was a third one.
Dude, the third one is the best one, man. It's
Now I
literally-
need to see the third one.
It's Big Mama's High School Musical, dude. It's amazing. It's called Big Mama's Like Father Like Son, and get it? It's Big Mama's because they're both in costume in this one.
This has nothing to do with the actual film whatsoever, but Pat addressed a tweet that I fucking love.
Oh
And
yes,
it's Big
that's
Mama versus Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Big Mama versus Mrs. Doubtfire. Who wins? And my take is Mrs. Doubtfire wins high difficulty. But then OP was like, what about the twerk off? And Big Mama wins the twerk off.
Big Mama wins the twerk off.
Big Mama immediately wins Twerk.
But before we watch Big Mama's house, just to like get in the Christmas spirit, me and Pat watched Home Alone because it's Home Alone. Classic. You know, it's a classic.
Home Alone
Classic
classic.
movie.
And then again before Christmas, we watched Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, we did. That
Yeah, and then we
counts.
watched the Disney sing along, Very Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Which I
this
found
was
on
on
Letterboxd.
it was on New Year's Eve. It was like at
We
midnight.
decided to go all the way back to 2002.
Yeah, it was midnight on New Year's Eve, but I mean, like it was. I guess it's something to out myself on. When I watch a movie at midnight, I log it as I watched it the day before. So like, if I watched a movie at 2 a.m. Christmas Eve, like what we did with Mickey's Christmas Carol, I have it as watching it December 23rd.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know why I do that. I just do that because it for me it's more like I watched it the night of the 23rd and not the early morning of the 24th.
Right. That's fair.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then on Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house we watched Elf because it's a 14-year tradition that I have that I will not end.
Well, you see, Steph and I also watch Christmas movies on Christmas Eve because we spent Christmas Eve together. We watched two very, very jolly Christmas movies. We watched Black
very
Adam.
jolly Christmas movies indeed.
Watched Black Adam, which sucked, and we watched Top Gun Maverick, which was amazing.
Pat couldn't stop pestering the dinner table to watch Top Gun Maverick. I kept
Here's the
eyeballing our
thing, right?
grandfather, saying, "Hey, Top Gun Maverick."
It's a good film, and that's the last movie I watched in of 2022. That's it.
Yep. Just you know, I also watched a Christmas movie. I watched Die Hard.
I didn't watch Die Hard last. I have to watch Die Hard.
Oh, you didn't watch Die Hard? On the 22nd, I watched Die Hard at a party. Nice. What? Yeah. So, what did you watch in December, stuff?
Basically the same. I have nothing on my letterbox otherwise, but I can't believe my last movie. Like I don't know if this is a bad thing or not. I think it's a good thing. But my last movie of 2022 was Top Gun Maverick.
You know what? That's a good way to end it off. That's a good way to end off 2022. Man, what a year! Like honestly, this was a pretty good year for movies, I would say.
Yeah, I had a good year.
Yeah. Is it alright if I just finalize with one final movie?
Yeah.
Like this is right after, and it's directly after New Year's. I decided to put this upon myself to start off the new year with a good movie, with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio,
Oh yeah.
which is this is January 1st, the exact time it was New Year's. I went home after getting I wasn't drunk. I was like mild tipsy at most.
A little bit.
It was almost mild tipsy at most. Had some nice champagne, went home, stood up, and watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was wonderful.
You know what was the first movie we watched in 2023?
What?
Food Fight.
Nope, that's the first movie you watched in 2023. The first
No,
movie
no,
I
no.
watched in 2023 was Puss in Boots.
No, the first movie I watched in 2023 was Glass Onion. It's the first movie we watched together in 2022.
Yeah.
It was Food Fight.
Fucking crap!
Puss in Boots. I love this. Anyway, we'll talk about that next year.
Boobs in boots.
What do you mean next year? It's
This
this
year.
year.
This
This
year.
year. Come on, because
The episode will come out next year.
You know what? Fuck you guys. We're coming back in 2024 with Puss in Boots.
Well, that's all the movies we watched in 2022. I know this was a really long one, but season premiere. We gotta get a nice long one, fill in all the gaps, all the movies we missed.
Season's greetings, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, happy
We
2023, guys.
you have 2 more movies to talk about though.
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
we do.
We have 3 more movies to talk about. Let's move on to Backlog, the segment where we recommend each other movies to talk about in the next episode. Now, if you remember, last time we had our lovely guest here, Stefano, on the show, which was pretty much exactly a year ago. Almost to the date. It's like 10 days away. If you remember the guest rules of Backlogged, me and Pat recommend one movie to the guest, and then the guest recommends us a movie. And if that guest so happens to come back on the show, we'll talk about the movie they recommended us. And just so it happens, we got Steph back. And last time he was on the show, he recommended us The Green Knight, which we watched 3 days ago. But yeah, let's start with Borat. So so we made Steph watch both Borat movies. What did you think? Tell us what you thought.
I think they were pretty average movies. I personally liked the first one more than the second one. The first one was like a true to heart social experiment. The fact that he went around and I think he did his thing. Like there was no like not like I'm talking an obstacle that stopped the show, or at least the type of obstacle that you would see in the second movie. But that was just the direct result of, because of the first movie, he became so famous that it would be almost impossible to film out in the open without him getting recognized. The first one allowed him to do much more, very risky, very much for its time. I don't think it holds up well to this day, but for a one-off goof laugh, if anybody in the audience loves social experimental films, this is definitely has to be one of them, and it's incredibly funny. The second one was more plot driven. It was more of a story, less than a social experiment. And because of the amount of restrictions and the time that it came out, Borat had a lot more, was more restricted on his jokes and restricted on his social experimental aspect. Not only because he kept getting noticed while filming, but also he couldn't say what he wanted, like he did in the first film. So there was a lot more restrictions to that, and it decided to go a lot more plot driven than the first one, which I think hindered it a little bit, or at least the main goal of the second film. But overall, okay movies. We'll never watch again, unless with friends.
You did watch it a second time.
I would never watch it again alone. I would watch it with friends though.
Yeah, no, never
Borat is
alone.
not a film to watch alone.
They're fun party movies.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're happy you enjoyed it? Question mark?
I'm content with it.
All right, good. That's good enough. All right. So now we're gonna talk about Green Knight, but very briefly, because there's a lot to talk about with Green Knight. Honestly, so much that it kind of deserves its own episode. This is not a confirmation that there's gonna be an episode, though. Just letting you know.
Yeah, and fun fact, scrapped episode idea.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But yeah, so watching the Green Knight, it was really good. It reminded me a lot of the Northman. It's very similar to something, if you got the Northman and you added it up with the power of the dog, you get the Green Knight. It is based off a novel. Can't remember the name of the author. But it's basically what happens after the famous King Arthur story. Arthur's king in this movie, and the movie is about Sir Gawain. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's his nephew. And the movie's about him and his journey to face the Green Knight's challenge. And you know what? It was a challenge well met. It's a good movie. It's very good. It's beautiful. Some of the shots, some of the scenes are just fucking gorgeous. The acting is phenomenal. The fact that this movie didn't even get any nominations for any Oscar is a crime. How? Not even best cinematography? Fuck. It deserved it.
That shocked me.
It's a really good movie. I think it's an interesting like look at the King Arthur story because whenever that story is adapted in anything, it's always either the Sword and the Stone, so before Arthur is king, while Arthur is king, or the story of Lancelot. It's never really about the other knights of the Round Table. At least in like big media, obviously, if you're like an anime fan, Fate exists, and there's other versions of the story out there. But whenever we see King Arthur or like the Arthurian legend, it's very limited in how it's adapted in like big media like this. So it's cool to see a story about Gawain and kind of like the hero's journey told in this A24 way.
Yep. Told in a very
It's a
A24 way.
really weird movie, but it is shot beautifully. The costumes are fantastic. The acting, the performances are stellar. It's a lot. It's a really good time for those who like the King Arthur story, or even just people who like more medieval fantasy kind of movies. It's really good. I would recommend it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I would also highly recommend this movie. For anyone who finished Elden Ring recently and need that itch.
Like me, who finished it for
I'm-
the ninth time.
If you're a fan of Elden Ring, you're definitely going to be a fan of Green Knight. I'm very, very happy. Like truly, like I'm very happy that you guys both enjoyed it. I knew going like when I was gonna suggest this movie to you, I knew it was very A24. The editing is very much like you would see in Midsummer and Hereditary, but it's something new. It's something extraordinary. I love every aspect of this film, and I'm glad that Lib, you agree with me that like at least it should have been nominated for at least like one thing.
Best cinematography is my pick. It should have been
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it
Either
should have
best
been
cinema,
cinematography or costume or set design. Like it's just
like at
such a good
least yeah,
movie.
exactly for like one thing, and it didn't, and that's like because that's so much hard work. Because
Yeah.
that's a film to me in my eyes, a film that is loved, a film that throughout every step of the way that a lot of heart and soul went to it, and you could tell that everybody had absolute just wonder putting their effort into this. So I'm very glad that you guys really enjoyed it,
Yeah, it was a
and it makes
very
me
good
happy.
recommendation.
Yeah,
Yep.
it makes me very happy. Thank you.
And on the note of good recommendations,
You're not gonna like my
we
next one.
we have a recommendation for you, and you have a recommendation for us.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
let's start with ours. Let's start with ours because
Go ahead.
yeah. So we were kind of I don't know if Pat was, but I was dropping hints to it the whole time.
I wasn't
I
paying
wasn't.
attention,
I
probably.
wasn't.
I don't know if you caught any of my hints. But much like last time, we told Steph to compile a list of 10 or so movies that he wants to watch and send it to us, and then we'd pick one of them, which is the same thing we did last time. In your list, we got some good ones here. I'm gonna read out the list just because I want to out Stefano. He never watched Gladiator or Coda. I'm just gonna say that. All right, just gonna say
What is a
that.
weird one for you not to have seen this because I feel like you would have gone out of your way to see the Best Picture winner.
Yeah,
I was supposed to. I had like mental plans, like okay, I'm gonna go see Kodata. I'm gonna see Kodata, and then completely forget about it.
That's fair. You are a busy bee, so yeah.
those are
Yeah.
not movies that we're going to recommend you. But somewhere on this list, you said any James Bond film. That was a dangerous one to put there, my friend.
I haven't seen a single James Bond film.
Because we could have given you Die Another Day, like we could have. We just straight up could've.
You could have. I would have still watched it.
But we're gonna be nice. We're gonna be nice to you, and we're gonna give you. This is not my favorite James Bond film, but I think it's Pat's, right?
It's mine.
Yeah. So this is Pat's favorite James Bond movie, and it's my second favorite, so it's good enough, and I think it's overall the best one. So we're going to be recommending you Casino Royale.
Oh.
Not the 1967 one. Don't get confused.
The Daniel Craig
yeah,
one.
the
the
popular one.
the good one. And if you want, we could watch it together because I want to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'm down.
Yes, can't believe you have never seen a James Bond
No,
movie. Honestly,
I can't say I don't know. I've never been very drawn to James Bond, I suppose.
well, next time you come onto our show, we can talk a little bit about Casino Royale and also about the movie you're about to recommend us.
Yes. You guys have done some recent tech work, right? Done it for
Oh.
a friend of ours, a mutual
Oh,
friend
yeah.
of ours, correct?
Yes.
How did that went? That went well? Went well?
All right.
We are the IT guys.
Yeah, so you're IT technical guys. In extent, would you call yourself hackers?
Yeah. I would say that I've hacked a thing or two.
Because that is the movie that I am recommending you guys to watch, called Hackers. And just to make sure, I am talking about the 1995 one. The one with Angelina Jolie's first ever debut. So have fun.
Yep. See, this is on our list for poop scoop nights.
It is.
Yeah,
And
I get...
I've wanted Lit and Pat to watch this to watch this film for so long. It like didn't occur to me like to tell them till this episode. I finally got my opportunity to tell them to watch Hackers.
We're gonna watch Hackers.
It's a wild fucking ride. I think it really dives into the IT mentality.
Oh no, I think the bad guys got that one, man.
Oh, I love that joke though.
I love that scene.
But that's my recommendation. I hope you enjoy.
Well, we sure will. Too bad we won't talk about it for another year. Who knows? Maybe you'll join us for an episode that's not a year in review.
If not, I will fade into obscurity until I see you within the next new year.
Oh no, come on. You won't fade into obscurity because if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing right now on screen a list of everywhere you could find Steph right now, his Twitter, his YouTube, Instagram, everything you can find him on. You can find it right here. He's also on a YouTube channel called Balsamic Productions. Check that out. And if you're not on YouTube, you can check out the description of this episode, which you can see on the, I think it's on the left of the episode on Spotify. You're going to see all Steph's information there where you can find him, or you could just click on the YouTube and click on the links directly right there.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And by the way, guys, before I leave, happy belated 1-year anniversary.
Well, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks
You
so
guys
much.
done some excellent work, and I'm very, very proud of both of you for keeping this up for a year.
Oh, well,
Oh,
Like
shucks.
I really envy that. I truly do. This is not a bit. This is not a joke.
Oh, well, we appreciate you saying that, and we appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen to the season 3 premiere, fresh off the reel. Season 3 kicking off. A great long episode for you. God damn. Pat, this is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, good luck editing, bucko.
Oh, you fucker. You motherfucker.
I'm just a personality. I'm just a pretty face.
Well, thank you guys so much. If you like this episode and you want to see more, make sure to follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, check out our Anchor page, and you'll find all of that on our link tree. That's linktr.ee/freshoffthereel, no caps, no spaces. On there, you will also find a form at the top of the list so you can fill out to recommend us a movie or a TV show. We'll take that recommendation and then we'll make an episode about it. So if you want to influence an episode, and we're going to be chugging those along in season 3, make sure to send in those recommendations. Lastly, of course, you can find our Letterboxd accounts at the end of the link tree if you want to keep up with the movies we're watching and get podcast spoilers. But with that being said, that's going to be it. So the 3 of us will see you in a theater near you. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks, Steph, for joining along.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.